What is going on, y'all? You know what it is. If it's Sunday night, it is Sipping on Sundays, man. Listen, we got a great show for you all tonight, man. We're going to have a lot of fun, man. We got some special guests that's going to be coming on a little bit later. But, man, listen, you know who it is. It's Mr. Campbell, your favorite Rattler, Jackson, Mississippi, North Jackson in the house, and my North Jackson little brother, Jackson State's finest, as you see, data expert, because we're going to be talking some data tonight. Zoe Phillips, brother Zoe. Got that DoorDash. Had to get a little something to eat there, didn't you?
Yeah, hey, look, so we dieting right now. Look, as y'all know, man, I'm getting married August 1st. I got to lose 30 pounds, dog, for my wedding day, dog. So got a little baked fish and rice right here. We eating light, drinking water, no juice. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get right, man.
So wait a minute. I always ask people, if you don't, so you got to lose 30. How much do you weigh now?
You won't believe me if I told you. 280.
You's a big boy. Yeah. You right there what's supposed to be at the combine at 280, boy. What are you, 6'3"?
6'4".
6'4", 280. Man, listen. Now I know you and Kim was a big dude when I stood up and met y'all and everything and stuff. Man, you 280?
280. All of my good. I like them about 5 months pregnant.
Listen, let me tell you something. I'm not going to let me tell you something. So, shout out to my friend Dick 56. So, you know, Zoe, back when COVID happened, right?
Clearly Canadian. You remember that? It's all clearly Canadian.
Philly Canadian. So, you know, back when COVID happened, you know, everything was shut down. Now, see, Zoe, let me tell you a little bit. I get my hair cut every week. Every week. I don't miss a week. I didn't want the people get clean. So you know how your phone got to play tricks on you around this time. You know, COVID was popping off around this time, back in 2000. Bruh, if I would show you that picture and look at my face, listen, man, you know, back then, boy, you talking about looking like somebody's sugar daddy, look like somebody's old uncle, that somebody would get some money out of, bruh. I had an afro, hadn't been shaved, face was fat. Man.
Hey, look, but here's the thing, though. If anybody see me right now, they'd be like, you don't weigh 280. I'm like, yeah, let me do this shirt. But I mean, it's all in my stomach. Like people see me pull it, like, man, you don't like me weigh that much. But actually, I'm 283 at the moment.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get down. My goal is to get down to about 230.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. You got to change up eating habits now. You can't be on that fried fish and macaroni and cheese.
No. That's gone. I've only eaten once a day, man. I ate me a sandwich from Jersey Mike's, man. Had a little deli sandwich, and I'm light on meat because it's processed meat. You know what I'm saying? But I try to eat salads. But like that, man, I got some baked fish, rice, and broccoli.
No, I don't know. Hey, now, Keelan, is this some kind of wolfing? Oh, he say wolfing. Okay, I'm about to say, like, is that a new diet that needs to go? Now, so listen, before we get started, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Because I'm so you know what? There's been a terminology word, anchor, being used. And I just don't think it's been used correctly. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe buoy for some people. But an anchor holds things down. Now, Joe, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about there were the movie that came out this week that we were excited to see. I went to go see it. But there were three bands that were anchors in the HBCU community. That was the March of 100, Sonic Boom of the South, and the Southern Jukebox. Now, those are what I would call anchors. Would you not call those anchors?
Most definitely.
So, let me tell you something. I went and saw that movie. They've already made $217 million worth.
Highest grossing biopic on the opening weekend in history.
On the open, and they ain't done. Sunday night is still going. Folks still going to the movies. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm a Michael Jackson fan. I grew up with Mike. You see what I'm saying? ABC, Jackson 5. Remember all that. So I've seen all the seminal moments. But I'm going to tell you something. Shout out to, I think it's Jafar, his name?
Jafar Jackson.
Jafar Jackson. Because that young brother, if he did not bring the spirit of his uncle, Zoe.
You know what? I'm gonna say something controversial. In my own humble opinion, I think he did a better job playing Michael than Jamie Foxx did Ray.
You know what? Let me tell you.
Because dog, you gotta understand, he was identical. Man, when they did the Off the Wall album, dude, you understand that was Jafar's photo on the album and not Michael, and you could not tell the difference.
let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you, if you all have not seen the movie, I'm gonna tell you why Janet's not there. I'm gonna tell you that, but real quick, let me keep that up because I want to get on that. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm gonna tell you one thing you should do. Go back and watch the Thriller video. Go find Motown 25 and the Beat It video. And watch those before you watch the movie. I'm telling you right now, you ain't gonna tell the difference.
No.
And if you did see the movie like I did, go back and watch it, and what it will show you and appreciate the level of work that young man put in. Because, bro, listen, let me tell you, there's a part in the movie where Michael goes to John Landis, what guy working with John Landis, famous movie producer, you know what I'm saying? Animal House, stuff like that, did crazy stuff like that. John Landis, big director at the time. He goes to John Landis and say, hey, listen, you too close to my face. Fred Astaire says you got to show the feet. I want you to show the whole body. So they do this. I go back and watch Thriller. So why I see all of Mike? And why, when you see it, they pull close and then they go back. I say, I be damned. I said, I be damned.
They got
and then at the end,
they got the last concert on point too.
On point.
The costume, everything they wore, everything was on point, man.
Shout out to Lil Baby. Man, listen. So here was the deal. Janet politely declined. But let me just tell y'all something. You got to understand something. Janet was the baby fan. This part of Janet, there was nothing for Janet to do. Janet was not any for this was the first part of his life. Janet was a baby. Okay. So there was nothing for Janet to have other than what they did with LaToya, just to play with Mike's stuff. So Janet would not have brought anything to this movie. And nothing.
You know what? I was gonna say to the people who say where's Janet, I was like, if you go to that time frame, Janet was enough. She didn't even need to be in the movie, if we're really being honest.
Well, bro, she wasn't old enough to bring anything. What's she gonna do? Because she was 6, 7, 8 years old.
Here's the thing: the movie ended. If we're talking about the movie ended with, you know what I'm saying, pretty much on the what should have been the Thriller tour, which was the Victory tour, which I remember that all too well. And the thing is that she had just maybe 2 years after that did her first album.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Only come out to 87.
Yeah,
87 going to 88 is when Control came out, but her first album came out right before then. So that's what I'm saying. Like it didn't need her. You know what I'm saying?
It wouldn't have done absolutely nothing. What they did, exactly what they did exactly. The people that were involved was the mother, the father, his brother, and all the business people. They helped Quincy Jones, of course. And of course, they did an interesting, with the bodyguard, which, they talked about. He was very influential with Michael and stuff like that. But the bottom line is this, man. You all got to go see this movie.
And you know what? There was only one flaw in the movie.
What's that?
There was a flaw in the movie. The flaw in the movie was, if you remember, when they were performing, when Susie DePass came to see them, to scout them, right?
Right.
Well, the flaw in the movie was they were performing Never Can Say Goodbye. They were not performing that song before they started with Motown.
Yeah.
That's the only flaw in the movie.
Yeah. Because actually, I think they were doing a Four Top song that they were singing that she sang. So, yeah. So, absolutely. So shout out to everybody. And man, listen, man, this is Sippin' on Sunday, man. Please hit the like button. Man, we are on the Off Script channel, on the Rocky Mill channel. Man, we got a full show for you. Just again, the rundown. Well, of course, we got to talk about the draft and talk about HBCU players that signed free agent contracts, and people all upset why people ain't get drafted. But guess what, though, man? This is Mr. Campbell. So we're gonna give y'all a little history lesson. But guess what? I got some special guests that's gonna break it down. They're gonna come on the second part of the show. Man, we got a lot of HBCU news and notes we gotta talk about. But listen, man, we got to bring up something, man. This show here, we don't like to be messed on this show. So we don't like to do that. We love everybody. But one thing what we do, we heavyweights around here, so you see, we got to put in the backgrounds. Jack State University, SWAC champions, leaders of attendance, Sonic Boom, cultural icon, Florida A&M University, number one Polo HBCU, Marching 100, various alums. So, man, you know what happens, though, in the SWAC? Every once in a while, folks start feeling themselves just a little bit. And, that's okay. You know, we all family. But so sometimes when people start using terminology, there's levels to this thing here. There's levels. So you know, the people, Lionel's my guy. You know what I'm saying? PV versus everybody. You know, he had to start. You know, he started a long time ago. They wasn't winning anything. They hadn't won no championships. So then he got his role partner, Said Bass. So it said, just to let you know, I think Said has done like 7 or 8 shows, though. I don't know if you know that. And out of the 8 shows, you know what's on? We've been featured on 3 of them. So almost half of his shows, he got to speak on the greatness that happens on Sippin on Sundays on the Off Script Network and the Rocky Miller Channel. Now, Zoe, he was real upset with you. He wanted to question the North Jackson Zoe Phillips, who had been going to Jackson State game, watch Swag. I said, how long, Zoe?
Man, for what I can remember, since 1984.
Since 1984.
That I can recall.
That you can remember. Exactly. I go back 14 years before that. So, I sat back here and we're gonna, me, gotta pull up a little something because we got bring some receipts here and everything. And so he gave you an award there, bro, and everything. And I got 2 of these, I'm proud. I got 2 of these things. So he gave you the Brass Monkey Award. Now I'm gonna let you, Brass Monkey Award is on. Shout out to Miss Griffin. Shout out to the West Coast. Shout out to my rally EA, man. Listen, you on Sippin on Sunday, get you a little something, man. We're gonna have a really good time, man. Y'all know we're gonna have a great show. But we gotta get this out the way because there's a little bit of disrespect in the kingdom. So I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna go dark for a second. And I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna let you give your thoughts on his observations of one Zoe Phillips and Jackson State University. And then he kind of threw FAMU in there, but we'll get to that. Get that sharing going right there. And make sure we got that nice and big. There we go. Let me make sure y'all see that. So this is Said Bass, proud PV alum. He said he's somewhere in our era, allegedly. He was back there when that loser streak goes on. He didn't see no win. He didn't see. I think he said he was there when the streak broke. So literally, he saw 1 win in his 4 years of college. 1 win. I can't say that, neither can you. But this is what he had to say about D1 Zoe Phillips. And then we're gonna talk about this. Here we go.
Now, this is one of the more popular segments of the show. Now, you would think I would have already acknowledged this with everything I've already said. But no. This part of the show, we highlight the extra special delusional, right? This is the part of the show where we highlight that special person that's just a little bit more delusional than the rest. That special person that's just a little bit more wacky than the rest, right? That special person that's just out of their mind, right? They must have been drinking something when they Twitter fingers went happy or they got in front of video. They must have been drinking something, and I found out what they drinking. Y'all know what they was drinking.
I'm assuming the music must have been playing here. Must have gotten checked or something. I don't know. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me pause that. Zoe Phillips. Brass Monkey of the day. That's what Zoe got. Keep going.
Brass Monkey of the day, y'all. I think y'all probably could have guessed this one. Run that back.
I guess the music will be playing here. Brass Monkey, Beastie Boys. Before his time.
Brass Monkey.
So he got singing now. Shout out to Leonard.
Brass. That's what we dealing with. Brass Monkey of the day. Zoe Phillips. Y'all know what it is.
Now, Zoe, I'm gonna stop that right there. Hopefully, Zoe's still there. Okay. I'm gonna stop that right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna let you get to that because I'm gonna show you over various clips of why you got the brass monkey of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so how do you feel of your first? Now, I'm a 2-time award winner. How do you feel getting your first brass monkey?
Steve, you watch The Wire?
I do. I did.
I love The Wire. It's one of my favorite shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember Omar?
I do. Shout out to Omar.
Omar had a very famous saying whenever somebody came, the first time somebody came and took a shot at him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Remember what that famous quote was, Steve?
If you come for the king, don't miss.
God damn it, boy, there it is. When it come to giving information here, up on these YouTube streets and these HBCU streets, if you come for the king, you better not miss.
Better not miss.
And man, you done shot your clip empty and ain't hit nothing. Because I'm coming. Because now I'm finna tap that tail, dog.
So
I feel like Nas talking to Jay-Z. I know you ain't talking about me, dog. You what? I'm like, PV? You coming at me like from a PV angle, like at Jackson State? Like
the anchor of the swag.
You what? I know you ain't talking, dog. Is that who I think it is? Okay.
That's it. Now, Zoe, this is the first thing he had an issue with you. So we're gonna play this right here. Let me know you can hear.
We talk about the anchor of this conference right now. It's none other than Jackson State University. I can say that without even being an alum or being a fan. Jackson State is the anchor in this conference right now. It ain't Prairie View. And you're the current SWAC football champion.
How, SWAC? How we not the anchor of the SWAC and we the current champions? I already told you. Not only we the champions, we your daddy. We are your daddy. Let me let it play.
You're not the anchor in this conference. You're not. And that's not me talking with pride or anything else. But I know y'all won't admit that. But Jackson State's the anchor of this conference right now.
So we let that play. Right? Jackson State is the anchor of the conference. I think that's laughable. Right? Very laughable. Right? They're close second, right? So it's not far-fetched if I'm gonna be, a little bit honest, right? If I'm not as subjective, if I look at it with, a macro lens, I can see how you on the Kool-Aid. But, I think when they say the anchor of the SWAC, they think this is restrictive around wins and losses. Right? He goes on, the last 5 years, we've been for sure. JSU, for the last 5 years, they've been in the SWAC championship. That 1 loss was to us last year, right? But slow down. 3 of the 5 years, Prairie View has been in the SWAC championship. 3 of the 5.
I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna let you handle this.
I'm glad you stopped right there because I got a couple of points I want to make. Right?
Yeah. We got time for you to rock.
Okay. So first things first, he says that PV is JSU's daddy. Okay, that's what he said, right? So here's the thing: PV is nobody's daddy, right? And I'm gonna break that down because when we talk about football, if we talk about head to head, right? First and foremost, in Prairie View's whole entire football history, they've played 977 games, Steve. Their total record is 447 wins, 503 losses, and 27 ties. That's 47% winning percentage. So in their whole entire football history, it's a losing record. They're under 500. So your whole entire history, you're a loser.
Right.
If you go by wins per game, they're literally at 47% right now. That's from the very creation of their whole entire football program. Okay. Now we go to head, right? Jackson State versus Prairie View. We've played them 62 times. including the championship game last year, 19, 41-2. They got a 32% win percentage against Jackson State. They've only beat Jackson State 19 times, and we played them 62 times.
Wait a minute. Let's not gloss over that. How many times y'all played them?
62 times.
62 times. And how many times they beat y'all?
19.
And one of the 19 was this one. So it was 18 before this one last year.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just want to make
and somebody come and say that I'm mad, man. When I get done, I have nothing to be mad about. So look, now they say daddy, because I'm gonna say this. The only claim to fame that Prairie View has is two things in football. It's two things. Yes, they are a charter member of this conference.
They are. Respect for that.
And if we're being honest, it's literally what kept them afloat all this time, because they were a charter member of this conference. Charter member of this conference, and they went 0-80. Like, that's the grandest things on their resume when it comes to football. That's the thing that stands out right now. But I'm not done. You say you're Jackson State's daddy. Well, man, see, I took the time to read some stuff, right? Because, how can you be an anchor? And he said, well, we went to the SWAC championship game 3 out of 5 years. Well, you can't claim to be an anchor when you've only won 1 out of 3. Because according to my math, you got 1 win out of 3 tries. That's 33%. That kind of goes along with that whole entire history, right? Kind of falling short under 500. They're 30. They have in the SWAC championship game, they're 1 out of 3. Jack State's 3 out of 5. That's 6%. By far and away, the best percentage in the conference. All right. Now, when it comes to just the winning percentage since 2000, because I specifically said we're the anchor since 2000 in this decade, Jackson State is 55-15 since 2000, and that's including the spring season.
Wait, I want to say something, because for them folks, they think the world gonna start in 2000. So I'm just saying. So this ain't no old school stuff that you talking about. The world gonna start back in 2000 for these folks. So
Jackson State's 55-15 since 2000. Dude, that's 78.5%. By far and away the best of the conference. Prairie View is 36-35. So kudos, they're at 50%, 50.7% since 2000. And you want to know what they do with the rest of the SWAC? Man, all time. Southern, 91 games, 31-58, losing the series to Southern. 81 games against Texas Southern, 36-44-1. Grambling, 79 games, they're 25-53-1. Alcorn, 66 games, they're 20-46. I already said Jack State. Dude, Mississippi Valley State University played them 57 times. They're 26-31 against Valley. Wait a
minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So that means, wait a minute. Valley beat them 32 times.
Yes, sir. No, 31. They're 26-31. Oh, yeah. Since 2000. Hold on.
That sounds very anchorish.
Hold on. Alabama State, 42 games, 15-27. FAMU, 11 games, they're 5-6. They got a winning series lead against 3 teams in the SWAC. Bethune-Cookman, they only played them 3 times. They're 2-1. Alabama A&M played them 19 times. They're 11-18 against Alabama A&M, and they can talk their big shit. You UAPB's daddy. Played them 85 games, and they got them 55-26-4 for 67 winning percentage. So I would say, no, you're wrong. You're UAPB's daddy. That's it. That's the only person you can actually talk down on. Because again, all time, Jack State is 527 wins, 344 losses, 22 ties for a 61 winning percentage in his whole entire history. We're at 61, Prairie View's at 47. Go ahead, play. You roll to that next clip, dog. So we got more to go.
This next clip actually has something to do about your background. And I found this pretty interesting. So we're going to talk about that background of yours there, though. Because Say got something to talk about that, too.
It's up there for a reason, baby. It's up there for a reason. I mean, look at it, Steve. I mean, that's a full game, dog. It's a full packed house.
Here we go.
Has a lot to do with why, in my opinion, they are not the anchor of the SWAC. let's put wins and losses is not just restricted to the wins and losses, right? When you're talking about institutions and how institutions are viewed on a broad scale, Prairie View is the darling of the SWAC. I hate to tell you that. Right? When you start talking about a good actor, a good player in the actual conference, you're talking about Prairie View, right? No instability when you're talking about, at the president level, right?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. No, wait a minute.
Y'all can't even say
Hey,
that.
man, that dude said,
Which is probably one of the amazing reasons why y'all haven't been.
I'm sorry. My bad. Put that on hold right there. Cause that definitely where I wanted to go with that. Wait a minute, because I thought I had this right. Hold on, let me make sure. I apologize though.
That dude said Prairie View is the darling of the Hey man, I got a project for everybody in the comments in just a little while. I got a project for everybody. It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. Because I can be biased, right? Damn the facts and the data, because I can be biased. Steve can be biased to FAMU, but every last one of y'all in the comments can't be, or maybe you can. But I got a project for y'all in a minute. It's gonna knock your socks off, man. And I want every last one of y'all to play along in this little demonstration I'm gonna have for y'all in just a moment.
I got it now, so hold on. Let's try this one. Let's try this. It's gonna bleed into something, but I think this should be it. I apologize.
What's it? They the darling this way.
Boy, he hurt me with that one. Let's try it.
We're talking about institutions and how institutions are viewed on a broad scale. Prairie View is the darling of the SWAC. I hate to tell you that. Right? When you start talking about a good actor and a good player in the actual conference, you're talking about Prairie View, right? No instability when you're talking about, at the president level, right? Y'all can't even say that. And which is probably one of the major reasons why y'all haven't been given, funds. I think it was 2. I heard that on
I must have
Mr. Campbell show the other day. Only 2
schools
did not
receive. Hey, this is like, this is like how Drake tried to use this stuff against Kendrick Lamar.
He probably shouldn't, right? The instability and structure at the top. Now, shout out to J-State. They have now got a new alumnus in there as a president, right? But that remains to be seen. So when we look at an institution level, y'all all over the place. And not only have y'all been all over the place, just messy and drama. And then even when y'all had Dion there, as I alluded to earlier, just all that was messy.
Okay, let me jump in.
Hey, Steve, when you can't when you ain't got shit else to say about football, you got to go in a whole different direction.
Bro, listen. Okay, here's my problem with this right here. So I'm gonna pull a little something up, and I didn't want to do this. But see, when you want to sit back and say it's instability and messy, Mr. Campbell alluded to his only 2 schools in the SWAC. Let's see, don't take my words out of order. Because we were talking about the great hire of President Gregory and what was going to happen. That is true. It is 2 schools that are in the top that have not gotten money from McKinsey. But so that is not the thing that matters all the time. Who gives you money? Because people give you money for all types of reasons. But I'm gonna tell you what does matter. I'm gonna show you a little. Let me show you a little something. I'm gonna show you a little something that do matter. Let me make sure I get this right. Because see, some folks got to remember who we are. I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna let folks know a little something. So we need to get a little order. So you see that right there? Mm-hmm. You see that, right? Yeah. This is a U.S. News report. This is what FAMU like to brand. Now, so listen, several HBCUs in the MEAC and SWAC. Now, so you see number 5 right there, Florida A&M University. Mm-hmm. Number 1 public HBCU. Number 5, top 5. But so I scroll on down. You got Hampton, A&T, Delaware. MEAC schools. All that. But so Number 15. Number 15 is Jackson State University. How's that possible, though? It's stability. But you know what I found funny? It's 3 schools in the SWAC. But guess who's number 20? Prairie View A&M.
With all that stability.
With all that stability. So with all them kids that's got money, beautiful campus, productive people, but how is that little school? Like you say, ain't nothing to do with that. How is a little school when Jackson Mississippi 1,400, 5 spots ahead of y'all? That's all I'm saying. So you got to be careful. Because like I said, one thing, I'm going to say this, and people know this. I don't compare people's schools because every school has a mission. Just like Mississippi Valley. If it wasn't for Mississippi Valley, they would not have teachers up in the Delta. But don't be around here taking those swipes at folks when the numbers don't lie. See, as they say, so what does your thing say, data expert?
Mm-hmm.
The data don't lie right there, so y'all are 5 spots ahead, even with all your instability. And even with us, with the 237, we still number 1. So just be careful when you throw these things out there. Now I'm gonna get on back to this video, but I just wanted to, point that out because sometimes we'll get a little bit comfortable and I have to remind folks. See, Zoe, you know what that would be called? That would be called anchor of academics in the SWAC. Fam used to anchor. Jack, stay holding on that. And Prairie View, you too. You too, PV. But remember,
I'm not saying that because I guess what I ain't touching this. Look, the whole premise we were talking about football, so I ain't even touching it. But hey,
you know me, I don't like doing that. But I only had to pull that out because, like I say, every school is great. All like I say, but he did it. So I just had to remind him. So we back to the sports. Here we go.
Tacky. It was so messy and tacky. He was on the first thing out smoking. He couldn't even let the celebration of the SWAC championship grow under his feet. You know what? I need to be on the bird tonight. Get me on the first thing smoking out of Jackson State. I want out of here.
Can you pause right there?
That's
pause right there, Steve.
J State is. Get me out of here now.
Pause right there.
Yeah.
So, okay. Makes a point, right? Deion Sanders left. Soon as he won his second consecutive coverage title, something that PV hadn't done. So that's another point for Jackson State. But also, Deion Sanders did leave after winning the went to go visit and accept a job. Hey, Steve, do me a favor. Remind me and tell everybody, where did Deion Sanders leave Jackson State and go to?
He went to Colorado.
And what conference is Colorado in?
In the Big 12.
Okay, that's a Power 4 conference, right?
That is.
Okay, Steve, name me another HBCU coach that left an HBCU and went to a Power 4 school to coach.
Nobody.
Okay, then. So that's another feather that Jackson State had. I would think so, right? Because, we can sit there and say, hey, because only Willie Jeffries left to go up to Division I at the time, from Division I AA to Division 1A. Mm-hmm. Willie Jeffries was the first HBCU coach to do that, to go to Wichita State. See, unlike Saban or whoever they was right here, see, unlike the buffoon, I know your history. I know yours. I know South Carolina State's. Because, see, I studied that data because I'm a football nerd. So I know what I'm talking about when I get to it. But Deion Sanders was the first HBCU coach to leave and go coach a Power 4 institution. So that's another hat for Jackson State University. So there ain't no dig at JSU. Because also, not only did Prime leave and go to Colorado, you took a coach off the staff that continued with the winning. Because, at that time, everybody was saying that Jackson State was going to go back to losing, and we had Mr. B. Because Prime went, Steve, remind me if I'm correct, when Prime got here and then he left in 2022, Jackson State went to 2 conference championships. Am I mistaken?
They did.
Okay, then. Okay. And then, and since Deion Sanders left, Steve, how many times Jackson State been back to a SWAC championship game?
Twice.
Okay, then. You go ahead, press play.
Oh, yeah. So I guess the beat keep going. So here's his next thing. And I should have this link right. This is you talking about Jackson State's digital reference and stuff like that. But he had a rebuttal there. So this is it.
Rising Tide that's listed all these votes in this conference. When we talk about social media presence, who is it? When we talk about fan engagement on social media, who is it? We can go to all the different shows around here, right?
What is he talking about? You think because y'all got 20 million fans, all with a Rode mic and a DSLR camera in a room with white walls with baseball caps on the back, you think that means that y'all relevant in the media spaces because y'all got a bunch of independent podcasters all yelling and screaming the same thing? What are you talking about? We relevant in the media spaces. Well, hold on, let me play that again.
Jackson State is the rising tide that's lifted all the boats in this conference. When we talk about social media presence, who is it? When we talk about fan engagement on social media, who is it?
Fan engagement on social media. I hate to tell you, right? PV12 is a force to reckon with. And we're not even delusional. We just hitting you with facts, knowledge, graphics, information. Y'all just on there talking crap and got emojis.
Now, so I'm gonna ask a question.
Hold on, Steve, before you ask a question, I want to say something. I want to say something, man. So he talked about, media spaces, right? I just want to ask everybody a question. So it's 2026, right? We're in the spring of 2026. I want a serious answer, okay? Since 2000, which school has had the most football games on TV? In the SWAC.
But they breaking SWAC TV records, though.
Well, I'm saying since 2000, which school has had the most games on TV? Because I can tell you who it ain't. I would venture taking SWAC TV aside, and y'all can tell me if I'm blind. Prairie View's the conference champion. I can guarantee you, can't say it now because SWAC TV, because they're going to pretty much show all the games. But if you take that aside, on national TV, Jackson will still have more games nationally than Prairie View would. That's a fact. There's no delusion or fandom with that. It's a fact. Since 2000, Jackson State has carried the most games on national television than any team in this conference. Now, he say social media doesn't matter. Well, guess what? Because everything is going to social media space. Point blank, period. I had to do a little digging. All right.
Oh, that expert.
I had to do a little digging, right? So if you go to IG, Instagram, all right, Prairie View, they got 17,800 followers. You know how many Jacks they got? 224,000. I go to Twitter. Prairie View got 25,900 followers on Twitter. You know how many Jacks they got? Got 102,000. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we talking about? Then we go to Facebook. Oh, you're going to laugh at this one.
What the old folks at? Where they should be at over there.
Hold on. Facebook say, my daughter told me Facebook for the old people.
Yeah, but okay. For the old people. Prairie for them old folks now.
Okay.
You remember, they the founders in the SWAC.
Look, Jack State sitting at 24,000 followers on Facebook. Prairie View is sitting at 671. $671. Oh, he told a fib too, because Deion Sanders, after his first full season, had offers to leave Jack State, but chose to come back. I mean, what are we doing here? I'm just gonna say something. What are we doing here, man?
Well, I'm just gonna say this. I told you I went to the Michael movie, right? Number one movie this weekend, 200 million made. Two of the schools we represent was part of that promotion, were they not?
Yeah.
All I know is that my drum major threw the baton to your drum major. Am I correct? Did we not break that down over here? Because folks, we had to let folks know over here that y'all know that's the drum major throwing. And shout out to Southern, the jukebox. But I'm just saying, if you just drive and view, so this is the last thing, and then we're gonna move on. This is the last thing he had to say about you, Joe.
Yeah, because I got a project for everybody in the comments. I want everybody, man, get your phones out too, because y'all gonna need them.
This is the last thing, and then we're gonna move on. But we just had to acknowledge this.
Out of the game, right? Because we're international. We're all over the place. We're making money. We're drilling oil. We're in C-suites. We're in international spaces. We're in military spaces, right? Shout out to the sister, by the way, that our president tried to block, PV grab, right? We're all over the place, right? I tell you what, we're engaged in the digital space. We're engaged when it comes to watching our team play. And that's where the real money is at. Y'all crying about $20 on a ticket sale on admission. And we're talking about streaming and ad revenue and what's driving revenue dollars and sponsorship dollars. They like eyeballs. They like digital eyeballs so they can see those commercials. TV is running the SWAC when it comes to SWAC TV. What are we talking about? Y'all running a digital space. What are we talking about? Somebody help me, right? Even on network news. In this modern era, TV was one of the highest stream or watch celebration bowls. That wasn't no Jay Stank. That was Prairie View. Prairie View outperformed Jay Stank when it came to eyeballs on the Celebration Bowl. And I don't want to hear anything about no South Carolina State.
Leave it right there. So, said tickets don't matter. Coming to state, it don't matter.
So here's the thing. The reason why the eyeballs was there because JSU was watching. JSU was the reason why you got there because JSU was watching. JSU was watching you lose the national championship, right? So now I got a project for everybody because I got a question that I'm gonna ask y'all first. Then I got another question, okay? Because I hear this jargon, right? So here's the thing, because even he can admit it, right? And he's a Prairie View alum. Okay, I get school pride, Steve. But guess what? If we took a straw poll from every human being that knows anything about the SWAC, and we asked them, hey, what's the first school that comes to mind if you think about SWAC football? I want everybody to put me the answer in the comments. And be truthful. Be truthful to who you would think, because I can assure you it ain't Prairie View. And even if it's a Prairie View alum, it ain't enough of y'all really that's going to want to move the needle. Because now I'm going to tell you how you lying, too. We talk about eyeballs, right? So you only got 17 people on 17,000 on IG. Jax, they got over 200,000. You only got 25,000 on Twitter. Jax, they got over 100,000. But yet you move more eyeballs. Like the data says that you're lying. You don't get it on social media. You don't get it in your own football stadium. Then they want to make excuses. Oh, we're by Houston and there's so much more to do, but Prairie View ain't Houston. Prairie View is like 30 minutes from Houston. And even if it's the case, hey, what's more rural? Prairie View or Alcorn? Because Alcorn does way better than that. And also, if you're out in the country like you say you are, then you have a bigger enrollment than Jack State. Then your students really should be showing out better than what they are. Because I can assure you Jack State students does. So they kill me with that excuse. There's nothing to do in Jackson. Like every single person in Jackson is at the game, right? And our attendance actually is down. Could be higher, right? But the fact is, it's just we have a winning pedigree. You don't. We've always put butts in the seats. You didn't. So you don't move the needle. You're not anchoring nothing. There is nothing that you can hang your hat on to say we anchor this conference. If you want to put your feather in your cap to say that you are a charter member, okay. Back in the 1920s when you started the conference, okay, cool. But here's the thing. Jack State and Grambling did not come into this conference until 1958. And they both have surpassed you in championships. Both. And you had like a 30-year head start. Think about that. Literally think about that. And I ain't talking about surpass you by one or two. I mean, way surpassed you in every metric. So basically, it's Jax again. And we're talking about since the year 2020. Jax State has led it and done it. And I'm not saying this as a Jax State fan. And my thing is, I'm not even trying to put PV down. I'm just reading the resume. Real spiel. Now, here go my question. Here go my question. Now, I want everybody to whip out their phone. I want y'all to go to ChatGPT because y'all say I be lying. I want y'all to go to ChatGPT. And I want y'all to ask ChatGPT, because I'm a homer and I'm biased, right? And say in these words, hey, ChatGPT, which school in the SWAC, which school in football, which football school in the SWAC, or which school playing the sport of football in the SWAC is the anchor of that conference? I want y'all to put that in there. And I want y'all to put who the answer is. Literally come right here and put the answer is. Put the answer. Hey, EA, guess what Jax State is? Jax State's a community school too. Jax State's a community school too. But I want y'all to ask ChatGPT and I want y'all to put that in the answer. Because I can assure you it won't be Prairie View. And then you know what's funny? Because Steve, I want you to do me a favor. You got that picture I sent you?
You mean this one?
Go pull it up. So you would call brass buck. So now you like a buffoon because everything you said was wrong. I mean, wrong. You don't got the eyeballs. You don't have the winning percentage. You got a losing history in your whole entire history. You barely sitting at 500 since the year 2020. You only got one conference championship and you just won it this year. So what exactly are you sitting down to hold us down with? Because winning one conference title ain't no anchor. Because if that's the case, hell, fam, you was the anchor. Fam, you won a title before you won yours. And fam, you got a better winning record than you do. So explain to me how you the anchor. Please enlighten me when it comes to football, how you doing this. Boom, ChatGPT saying Jax State. I knew it would, right? Because it's common sense. When it comes to attending, Jax State, man, got more fans going to the games than any other school. Fan engagement more than any other school. On TV more than anybody else. Jax State moves the needle. And everybody knows you got pretty much Mr. Jax State on these podcast streets because guess what? They're going to move the needle with engagement. Come on, man. And if I really want to throw a low blow, man, come on. You could do a show right now, and I bet you that current show that we're talking about probably ain't reached 1,000 views yet. I'm just keeping it a book, man. Y'all got to stop this, man. Look, I understand what Prairie View means in the lexicon of HBCU sports. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. I'm reading the resume. But, man, you want to talk about delusion? That's delusion. That's delusion. I didn't type a loaded question. I asked a simple question. What football team in the SWAC is the anchor? How is that a loaded question?
Shout out to
How is that a loaded question? How is that a loaded question?
And listen, man, shout out to my PV12 folks. Listen, man. Look, I just got to say one thing. We didn't start this.
Hold on, Steve. Talking is one thing. I'm a professional shit talker. This is not talking. So this is not what their coach is doing. I'm not going to sit there and let you say that. This what he did. This is delusion of the highest order. You ain't spreading number lies, dog. You say you move the eyeball, it's the most watched game. But then, you got 671 people on Facebook. Jax State got 24,000. Like, come on, dog. Like, there in no metric that you can state when it comes to football. Literally, whether you want to go all time or since this decade started, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got no leg to stand on. Real talk. Come on, man. Like, that's why I put that, because it's clownish. Like, for real. It's real clownish.
Bro, he did 45 minutes, and unfortunately, we almost matched him. He did 45 minutes to try to make himself feel good. And this ain't listen, shout out to D-Jax. We respect, that's my guy. Shout out to Prairie View. Y'all my folk. But your boy here is out of order. Your boy here is out of order. So listen, we just gonna make this simple, man. Yeah, they say we're gonna figure this out on the football field. And you know what? You're right. Somebody said, fam, you can't win it. Guess what, though? We've already won it. See, there's a difference. See, you got to be, see, there's a VIP section. Only Grambling, only Jackson State, and only FAMU in that VIP section on the swag side. There's a difference. Because, see, when we go win it. That's all I'm just going to say on that. So we're going to move on, man. There's a lot of stuff going on, and, man, we're going to have some guests come on pretty shortly. So let's get on to this thing, man. So one of the things I want to talk about, Zoe, your boy Deshaun Jackson, Zoe, that got sued.
Yeah.
Something going on here, so we got to let the folks know. I tried to get my lawyers on here to break this down. I might have my lawyers come on here next week talk about this. Couldn't get them on real quick.
Hey, that's some real serious allegations too.
Yeah, man. This is that's why I want to talk about this. So we're gonna talk about this. Deshaun Jackson, Delaware State, faced lawsuit from football player injured in alleged assault. A player has filed a lawsuit against Jackson, associate head coach Travis Clark, unnamed player, and a staff member following November incident that left the plaintiff with numerous dental injuries, according to the report by On3's Nick Schultz. Sophomore safety Malachi Biggs alleged that during the week of November 19th, he was confronted by a defendant and another Hornet football player about an Instagram post. The defendant placed Biggs in a chokehold, instructed him to tap out to release the hold. The lawsuit states Biggs was unconscious when the hold was released, and the fall to the ground resulted in multiple fractures in his jaw, deep laceration to his chin requiring surgery, irreparable damage to at least a dozen teeth requiring extraction, root canals, and additional invasive dental treatments. The defendant was allowed to play in that week's game after a team meeting. Our lawsuit alleged that the Delaware State University and staff failed in their responsibility to adequately supervise these student athletes and failed to properly discipline their violent behaviors. By dismissing the violent assaults as mere horseplay, the university and coach Deshaun Jackson allegedly fostered a toxic culture of bullying and hazing in the locker room. Jackson took to social media to make a statement. I take the safety, well-being, and development of every student athlete in Delaware State football seriously. I've never fostered or encouraged hazing, bullying, or any violent environment. It's never been the culture I worked to build because this matter is subject pain. You know, of course, you can't say anything about it. Now, Zoe, there was a famous quote out there, if you remember, when Grambling got in that fight. Deshaun Jackson said, what y'all doing out there? It looked like some gang activity. What's going on here with this, Zoe?
Hey, that's why. You remember that? You remember what Farrakhan told Mike Wallace? This bitch should be quiet, Mike Wallace. This bitch you ought to say nothing with all the blood in your hands. Man, hey, this is like one of those things where, bro, you just being tone deaf and life come back at you fast, man. It was all good just a week ago, huh? I mean, it's not a good look. And we can talk about litigation all we want to. The only thing I can say, man, on Deshaun Jackson's behalf, man, is just, you hope that in this particular incident, it will pretty much like a one-off with maybe some role players doing something that's not falling in line in suit with the coaching staff, because that can happen. But even with that being said, it's still going to fall on the head coach because you foster everything that goes within that program. You know what I'm saying? Because they leave and, you know what I'm saying, pretty much the strength coaches around majority of the time and the players. So the thing is, I just hope for Deshaun Jackson's sake that everything that this young man said in the way that he's put it wasn't true, because if it is, it's going to be a short stay for Deshaun Jackson. You're mute, Steve. You're muted.
And he was talking about Grambling, making that comment, and you're right. He did
it's
talk
like
about
a game.
it. He sure did. So listen, man, we're big fans of Deshaun Jackson. Shout out to Travis Clark, came on the Off Script Network with Scotty. You know, this is one of those things that something happened. I hope it didn't happen like it said, because clearly, if the boy, listen, you can't hide getting your busted up in your mouth.
Yeah.
So something happened.
But
man,
see, I'm gonna tell you. So the reason why I put it that way is because, look, man, just being around college football enough to know, and you're well aware too, like things can happen out where the coaching staff don't see it, and they get the info late. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Things happen in the dorm rooms. Things happen because, again, they don't live on campus. They leave and go home, and things can pop off at that point in time. So that's why I'm saying that I'm hoping for Deshaun Jackson's case that is the case, right? I hope it's not a thing where he actually was fostering, which I'm being hopeful that he didn't do that. But fostering, you know what I'm saying, that type of energy and environment, man, in your first year, some type of road, you know, environment. I don't want to believe that's the case. I'm hoping not, but this young man, for whatever reason, really laid it out, man, and laid it out thoroughly. And I'm hoping for best case scenario where, you know, what happened. It's unfortunate, but I'm hoping that. Well, I should say hoping. I would rather think that this happened under the guise of, you know, some teammates doing something on their own with courageous and ruining things, as opposed to the coaching staff fostering this type of environment for the team and for the players.
Because let me tell you something I know for a fact. Presidents don't like lawsuits.
No, sir.
And legal counsel don't like liability. So I tell you one thing, this better be a 1-out, because if it's a 2, it won't be a 3. I can guarantee you that. Now, Zoe, I wanted to talk about this, man. Listen, we got draft season. We're going to be talking about the HBCU people, waiting on our special guests to come on. But one thing I think a lot of people don't know is how important when scouts, GMs call coaches about the players. I saw something here that I wanted to bring up that your boy Nick Saban did, talking about one of his former players, because now, again, he ain't the coach no more. But I was like, damn, Nick, we doing it like this? But I want to talk about people all shocked, because I'm going to give y'all behind the veil, because I used to be an agent. I'm going to tell you a secret about this. So this is Nick Saban talking about the Alabama football player that's got drafted and what Nick said live about him.
Of course, Nick Saban, he recruited Caden Proctor. He coached Caden Proctor. And mind you, Nick Saban is generally super positive when he talks about his former players. This is before the draft. Here's Nick Saban on Caden Proctor.
Now, the issue with him is he's not a bad person. He'll do whatever you ask him to do once you get him in the building. But when he's not in the building, he might get a little overweight. He might not come in the best shape. And those are the kind of things you got to manage with him. But I think they're manageable.
We want the Dolphins to follow Mel Kiper's mock draft.
No, it's not.
Bane was supposed to go there. Our GM shouldn't have any conviction about how he evaluates these
players.
No,
it's not about following the mock draft. It's not about being a sheep and following everybody else. What it's about is if you're a brand new general manager and you have a high first-round pick, you're setting and it's a rebuild. You're setting the foundation for your team, for how you want to build your franchise. And his coach here, Dave, his former coach, is telling you he's got a hard time with work ethic when you're not all over him. He's got a weight issue potentially if he's not in the building. And he's not a self-motivated, he's not a self-starter. Is that the guy you want to say, this is my very first building block? And I think it's fair to say, man, that's super questionable.
Now, I was like, okay. And Nick Saban, you know, now he's a color commentator, color person, talking about players and things like that, about his player, former player, and what it was. So, fair, foul, or ain't nothing wrong with what he did.
What Nick Saban?
Nick Saban, correct.
I don't think it's that they fouled what he did, if answer the question. And that's pretty much, you can see that in college, because a lot of those guys still are teachers, and they're going to, hey, man, look, on some players, if they can help them win, they will coddle them and help them out. But let's be honest, you can have some of that in the NFL too. Jimmy Jones is known for saying, you know what I'm saying, if a guy got this kind of talent ain't going to help us win, I don't need to coach him hard like I do some of the other guys. I get what the guy's saying about maybe want to pick him on a high draft pick, but man, let's be real. What difference does that make? Because that same guy, you may not have drafted him, but if you're coaching in the league, if that guy, if I get him as a free agent, he gonna help us win. Don't tell me you ain't gonna pay him and get him. So what's the difference? It's like we want to try to be on this whole thing about what look good and what's right, but I mean, at the end of the day, man, if we can help that, look, Charles Haley is a prime example, and Charles Haley threw a damn helmet at Jerry Jones. It's notated. Man, you got loose cannons, crazy people, man, people that do all kind of stuff. in professional sports, literally. So man, I'm trying to play this more high ground or try to get on this high horse, like, you know, oh man, he's lazy, so we're not gonna get him. I mean, it sounds good in the beginning, but what difference does that make if you're willing to get a guy like that as a free agent?
So this is the Dolphins' first round pick, and this is what they were saying. New GM, you know, clean house down there in Miami, and you know Dan Le Batard down there in Miami. Should this be your first pick when this guy got these type of red flags? That's what their point was, and Nick Saban saying this. This is my thing, man. And I think what a lot of people don't know, right before the NFL draft, the NFL sends out a survey to all the coaches that have draftable players. And they basically say, hey, tell me about this guy. And I'm going to tell you a secret, though. The coaches are 100% brutally honest. They're going to tell those guys, because you know why? They don't want to have bad relationships with the NFL, because that's how they help get their guys drafted.
Yep.
So if they got a guy they really like, then they're able to push them. But trust me, this happens all the time. I had a guy, young man, we played University of Tennessee. And his mama, when I say was heavily involved in his life, she would go to the Tennessee games wearing mink coats up there, Rocky Top and everything, would go back and say why my son, would tell Phil Fulmer why my son ain't playing and stuff like that. And we used to tell, hey, man, you need to tell your mama slow down, bro. Oh, man, my mama just looking out, stuff like that. Steve, my mama, I said, bro, I'm telling you, that's not a good look. It's affecting your draft position. We show them that white book zone. Coach said, mama too involved will be a headache for any NFL team. Right there in black and white. Showed them that. I said, man, I hate to do this to you. But when you go on these interviews, they're going to ask you about your mama. You would think that why would they care? Drugs, you know what I'm saying? Domestic violence, you know, little stupid stuff. Did you go to class? Because they're always looking to see what could be a distraction.
Hey, Steve, but check this out. So that same guy that had that video, I would ask him, hey, if you're a coach and you needed a left tackle, you got the third pick in the draft, you're gonna tell me that video come out of Laramie Tunsil during the draft, you're gonna tell me that you still ain't gonna draft him?
Well, hold on now. That's why they said Tunsil dropped.
Right. What I'm saying is, he was saying that he wouldn't get him in the first round. Larry Tunsil still win the first round.
Oh yeah, well you couldn't deny that talent.
So that's my point.
And what's so funny, the Dolphins actually drafted Tunsil. That's the fun part.
So my thing, and guess what? And Larry Tunsil is still making damn good money in the NFL as we speak.
Oh, 100%.
So that's what I'm saying, man. Get out. They want to get on this more high ground. But man, it wasn't his agent, it was his stepdad.
Oh, let me tell you something. You're 100% they will. Because let me tell you something. They said that same thing about that brother, that white boy up there, BYU, the quarterback, talked about his mom.
Allegedly.
So just tell me. So
let me say allegedly.
Listen, let me tell you something. When it comes to those coaches, they're going to tell everything about anything. They had, you know, I've seen where they say, you know, the kid is too involved in church, which was crazy. Kids like going to church. White boy. Yeah, so I'm just letting you know. They don't, it doesn't matter on that. It does not matter on that. All right, so we're going to turn the corner. I'm waiting for my guy to get on here in a second. But we're going to go to what everybody wanted. So, NFL draft weekend. And folks, well, your folks is upset, Zone. They do not understand how an HBCU player did not get drafted. So you know what I'm gonna bring up? Because I'm trying to stop.
Well, I beg to differ.
Yeah, okay. Well, I listen. I'm gonna get to this point, but this was interesting. We did have somebody that actually went to the HBCU combine and got drafted. But guess what? He didn't attend the HBCU. Let's talk about this story right here. And this is what I found very interesting. And again, how we can give people access and how, again, and let me tell you something. If you watch the HBCU Coaches Corner, go back and watch the interview we did with Doug Williams, who runs the Legacy Bowl, has the HBCU combine, and had another combine up there at the Commanders. And you know what he said, Zone? A lot of these kids didn't want to work out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these kids didn't come prepared. A lot of these kids did not understand that this was a job interview. This is what Doug Williams said.
Yep.
But guess what? This Nigerian brother, he understood the assignment. So this brother right here, draft history was made in an unusual way when Philadelphia Eagles drafted, and I'm going to pronounce his name. I think it's Bernard. If I butcher his first name, I apologize. Brother Bernard, after seeing him flash at an HBCU showcase, built to create opportunity. Bernard was taken 251st overall in the 7th round. He did not finish his career at HBCU. He did not play at a Power 4 school. He did not play college football anywhere. Never played organized football. That did not stop Philadelphia from using a draft pick on him and becoming one of the most fascinating names in the NFL HBCU pipeline. Bernard, a defensive tackle prospect from Nigeria, was part of the NFL's International Player Pathway Program. He measured in at 6'4", 306 pounds. At the HBCU Showcase in International Player Pathway Pro Day in March, Bernard ran a 4.63 40 and posted a 39-inch vertical. That makes Bernard's selection both encouraging and complicated for HBCU football. The showcase deal was designed to put talent in front of NFL eyes, but Bernard was not a traditional product. Basically, he didn't go to any of the HBCU conference teams, but he performed in a setting connected to HBCU exposure and left with enough momentum to become a draft pick. Bernard, while scouts and front officers were during the pre-draft process, and the Eagles took a swing late in the 7th round. So the Eagles is not the first time they've done this. They've done this before and developed a starting left tackle in Malatala, I believe. But they said Bernard is not Malatala. But the comparison explained why Philadelphia would be willing to use a late pick for rare traits and upside. So now, no player who finished his career at the HBCU was selected in the 2026 draft, marking the 3rd time this decade this has happened. Several players with HBCU ties to hear their name. Kevin Coleman, who came in there with Travis Hunter, started Jack State, went to a couple schools, got drafted by the Dolphins. Kieran Purdy, who played at A&T, for finished at Wake Forest, picked by the Patriots. Eric Fuller, who went to Pine Bluff for transferring to Toledo, was drafted. Those matter. So guys started with HBCUs, end up getting drafted. So, what is going on? What do you think about this young man? And what does it say about the talent that came out of HBCUs this year?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, Steve. I see it differently from everybody else. Let me go ahead and get that out of the way. So it's a lot of different things that you can actually go with in this. The changing of the landscape in college football, the changing of players every year, from going from team to team is going to affect, especially when you talk about paying players, because pretty much any FCS player is going to look to leave to get any type of opportunity to move up to get more money. Now, outside of even just trying to get drafted, they're trying to get paid. So that's going to have an effect as well. But also, I saw someone saying we need to get rid of the legacy vote. No, we do not. No, we do not. Players need to participate fully and put their best effort forward and treat it like what it is. Again, man, look, and I've seen all the landscape change before, but Steve, like I said, I've seen plenty of HBCU players get drafted and have success. Even since the year 2000, we've seen tons of HBCU players who even went undrafted, signed plenty of free agent deals, and are actually playing. Jax, they got four former players in the NFL on active rosters right now. FAMU has 4 former players on active rosters right now. So they're there, and look, they're coming on campuses. We got scouts all the time. So the thing is, the players got to do their part. And but I do want to say this. I know some people gonna look at this crazy, but if the Power 5 schools can do this, then damn it, I'm gonna do it too. So I don't look at it like there were no HBCU players that didn't get drafted. Because to me, Jax, they got a player that got drafted. Kevin Coleman got drafted. Jax, they got a player drafted. If Florida can lay claim to James Houston, then damn it, I'm gonna lay claim to Kevin Coleman. I mean, because at this point, players are changing every year.
Right.
Kevin Coleman, for example, he played at 4 schools. He was a SWAC freshman of the year, won a conference title, and he left, changing of a coach, and went someplace else. Went to Mississippi State, went to Missouri, and I think went to Louisville. And yeah, so My thing is, I'm at the liberty to say, man, Louisville, Mississippi State, Missouri, and Jack State can lay claim to Kevin Coleman. Yes, he played his last year, I believe, in Missouri, but then the state, man, they all can lay claim to him. I swear, because that's the new changing of the guard. It's not like what it was. You don't have a thing where a player was here for 3 years and then, he left for this one season. You're not even having that anymore. I mean, and again, there you go, Israel, because as we always say, once a Tiger, always a Tiger. We've always said that. And guess what? And we root for them all, because guess what? Shador right now, Shador is a Tiger. Shiloh is a Tiger. Hell, Shiloh has been back to Jack State. He ain't been back to Colorado. So the way we see it, man, look, once a Tiger, always a Tiger. If Shiloh have to make it to the NFL, man, we'll say a former JSU Tigers in the NFL.
Hey, well, I'll tell you one thing, and I believe this to be fact. Kevin Combs graduating. Y'all don't lose no APR point either. Because he graduated. So listen, man. You know what? We do facts around here, man. And some people, man, is a facts guy, man. So listen, man. One of my new nephews, man. He said, "Hey, I got to join y'all, man. Cause listen, we about to talk some business, man. And you know what, man? I got to bring somebody that has the analytics, that's down the middle, but he's also a proud Alabama A&M Bulldog, man. Listen, coming to stay, Wild Wayne Cartwright, my guy. There he is. What it is, Wayne?
What's going on? What's happening, guys?
What's up, man?
Man, you know what, bro? I'm feeling good. I just like to say what's up to everybody watching, but man, this is just hilarious because this is very predictable. Every single year, I just call this the annual renewal. Every year, we get done with the draft. Then we come with the familiar. It's the same stuff folks said previous years, same stuff they're going to say next year. It's all the same thing. My question is, aren't y'all folks tired by now of saying the same things, tweeting the same stuff? I mean, come on, man. But anyway, let's just really get to it, man. And let's just make it very, very plain, man. Make it very, very plain. All right. Y'all were on a roll. I seen y'all talking about, Jackson State Tigers and all this different kind of stuff. I will say this. The statistics, okay? Now, there were 4 guys from the FCS that got drafted, okay? 4 guys, all right, this year. Last year, there were 8, okay? I got the last 5 years. This year, 4. Last year, 8. 2024, 11. 2023, 10. In 2022, there were 20. Okay. So, you've had this thing be up as high as 20, all right, in the last 5 years. And it's tick down, tick down, tick down, tick down. Now, there's so much of a correlation between the FCS going down with the numbers being drafted compared to our HBCUs. To me, I put them all in the same bucket. And the reason why is you have to. You're talking about the division. And what people do all the time, they love to just go and pinpoint HBCUs. Mm-hmm. Well, no, this is an FCS issue that is shared. And the reason why it's shared, ladies and gentlemen, look at the levels of competition. All right. Now, the other thing I got to say to that as well, that people are overlooking, the number of guys that are staying in school. Remember, lots of guys before the NIL period, they had record numbers of guys who left school early for the draft. Okay. So you had that. Now you have guys that are staying in school because they're trying to collect more NIL money. All right. You got that correlation. All right. Now, the last correlation that I'll put to you is the fact that you're talking about all these guys who typically would have stayed at an FCS program that are now transferring up by the hundreds each season. And because you have all these guys that are transferring up, you've got a little bit of a depleted amount of talent that typically would be at your levels that are not there no more. So you got to just really look in and just really get into this whole thing, man. Make the whole picture plain instead of just immediately just going and being, well, you know, they're picking on our HBCU. Nobody's picking on any HBCUs here. And then when people love to say, well, you know, the level of talent at the HBCUs. No, that's not true either. Because FCS, you're talking about some of the best players in America, all right, on FCS programs. Guys that were in North Dakota State, South Dakota State, some of these big, powerful programs, not getting anybody drafted either. Okay? It's just facts. It's just so facts. All right. I'll let y'all, you know, continue on with the conversation. And then, you know, I just want to lead off with that.
Well, see, so now you go see, man. Shout out to Wild Wayne, Bulldog in the house, on Sippin on Sundays on the Off Script Network, Rocky Miller channel. And please hit that like button, share and subscribe. Man, listen, I pulled this up because, man, this drives me nuts, man. And people acting like the house on fire. Listen, man, the house is not on fire. This says it all. First of all, let me tell you something, man. And this is not new. Just to let you know, before, like Wayne said, 85% of drafted players come from the Power Fours right off the rip. Power Fives. So right off the rip, 85%, you just put them to the side. So that leaves 15. So this is this year's breakdown of the draft. The SEC once again leads with 87 drafted players. Big Ten. Now, here was the thing about this with this asterisk. Now, mind you, the SEC has expanded with Texas and Oklahoma in it. You know what I mean? So I took this with a grain of salt when they talking about they broke this record. Big 10, 68, ACC 38, Big 12, 38, Notre Dame Independence, 7, FCS 4, because they put them all in there, American Conference 4, MAC, the Mountain West Conference, Sun Belt, Conference USA. And so here's the thing, man.
Here's the thing. Scroll back up to the top.
Right here?
Yeah. So basically,
we can't hear you so as good we did before.
My bad. So here's the thing. You got the SEC and the Big Ten. I want you to understand what that represents, right? With those numbers. Do you know how many picks are in the NFL draft?
257.
Guess how many picks those add up to? 155.
Yep.
So over half right there.
That's half the draft right there.
Right there.
That's half the draft. So that's not, so my point is that's not a microcosm to the talent that's in the FCS.
Mm-hmm.
Half of the picks are the SEC Big 12. And let me go on record and say this. You do know that all of those picks from the SEC and the Big 10, some of those guys have numbers like they're transferring to an FCS school.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys know this. They have 6 and 7 rounders who really didn't tick or really play. They got drafted late in the rounds. I hope people understand it. They got drafted off potential or a favor for a coach.
Absolutely.
Or what's being said. So that number, you really could put an asterisk by it, right? Because they were rather go that than go with top end talent on the swag. But we can't also not sit here and have this conversation and act like they all know that there's talent on the FCS level, but they already know they're playing with a loaded gun because they know that that talent they can get for pennies on the dollar. They know that they don't have to draft them. They know that they can get them as an undrafted free agent.
Mm-hmm.
They know this on the front end.
Yep. And then you look there too. Look at a group of 6. Okay. That's the other thing that I got to say too. Now, this has been a trend that's been going for the last 7 years with the group. You know, it was a group of 5. Now it's a group of 6. You look at it. There's 14 players that were drafted from the group of 6. Okay. 14. So that's telling you that the group of 6 also has had their challenges as well. Okay, so people like to just go ahead on and hoot and holler, but the numbers are right here on the screen, and according to number and also the numbers that I gave you. But you're talking about, to Zoe's point, you're talking about guys that are being drafted off of potential. They mentioned a guy who was drafted in the 3rd round. he came from Auburn, defensive tackle. Talked about how big he was. Guy had 3 sacks in his entire career. Okay. They said that at his size, he should have been able to dominate. His name was not being called more than other guys who were smaller in stature. But because of his size and his measurables, they decided to make him a 3rd round pick. So you got a lot of things you got to look at, but that's why I'm telling y'all, you got to look at the entire picture, because to me, I think it's very lazy with some of the comments that get made when we come every year around this time. It's very lazy. Some people, just keep it honest. They'll tell you, well, I only watch HBCU football. Well, yeah, it shows in your comments, because you have to watch some of the, you got to turn the TV on and you got to watch all these other programs.
well let me, and Wayne, you know, that's the thing, man. And I'm gonna show you something, because it also goes back to, you know, people, you know, got some of the old heads, and, you know, like, you know, me as old heads. Well, you know, man, back then we had 1st round picks and blah, 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 and all that stuff. Yeah, we did. But let me show y'all something that I thought very interesting, that a lot of people don't understand, man, how the landscape has changed and how one little move hurts us in recruiting. I'm going to show y'all this. And this blew my mind when I was doing research for this. And Zoe's going to understand this, because, and you too, Wayne, but Zoe's really going to understand this. I want you to look. This is the Sun Belt, okay? This is the Sun Belt. Let me make this really big, because I want people to see this and understand. I want you to look at James Madison, used to be 1AA.
Yep.
Old Dominion used to be 1AA. Coastal Carolina used to be 1AA. Georgia Southern used to be 1AA.
Marshall
used to be 1AA.
App State.
App State
used to be 1AA.
Troy
Georgia
State
used to be 1AA.
Troy State.
Arkansas State did too.
Troy.
Louisiana, which is used to be Monroe. Louisiana 1AA.
No. That's Louisiana Lafayette.
That's Louisiana Lafayette. Yeah.
1AA.
They were 1AA. They hold on. They used to be Southwestern Louisiana. They were the regional school. Then you had Texas State. Then you had South Alabama came on as, I believe, as they were one FCS for a year or two. They were already transitioned to be up to division to FBS or Division I. And ULM used to be, they were national champion. Used to be Northeast Louisiana.
That's right.
So I say that because let me tell you what happens. And this is the game, and this is what we're going to go into. I'm going to talk about a little bit later. I'm waiting for Blue to come on because we're going to break this thing real down. Every one of these schools, you know where these schools go? Because this is the school we actually recruit against, right? In the footprint. This is school FAMU on that list beat in playoffs. But you know what they say? We FBS. Don't go to Jackson State. We FBS. Don't go to FAMU. We FBS. When they are number masquerading as just a high-level FCS team. And none of these teams playing for the national championship.
Nope.
But see right here, a whole conference is made up of former FBS 1AA, as I like to say, school that we actually played in the playoffs.
And go look at Conference USA.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So my thing is, this is what happens when you got to look at this thing. These are players that they had that was coming. These are the guys that all of a sudden, like you see, because you'll go look at those guys that have, South Alabama have free. Those guys went to Jackson State. Those guys went to those are guys all of a sudden that you said, damn. Because man, and listen, me and Zoe broke this down. And Wayne, me and Zoe and Scotty, I had to show them because people were talking about draft. During that WC Gordon period, he had like 25 dudes drafted. It was insane. Insane. But you're talking about guys in the lower rounds that made teams that played for 4 or 5 years. So
I was going to say, coincidentally, the last draft that had multiple HBCU players drafted in that draft was the year 2000.
Yep.
Sylvester Morris. And we had Rashad Anderson. Jack State had 2 first-round draft picks in that draft, but then you had I forget the kid's name, the cornerback from Pine Bluff. I want to say Dante Wesley.
Greg Wesley.
Greg Wesley got drafted in that draft. We had about I'm serious. If I had to go off the top of my head, I think we had about 5 or 6 HBCU players drafted in that draft. And that was in 2000, 26 years ago. And Jack State was the last FCS program at that time to have 2 first-round draft picks.
Yep.
I'm not making this about Jack State. I'm just saying we have multiple HBCU players drafted in that draft.
Yep. And
it's been followed since then.
And then
So here's
another one
Wayne
that
when he
got
talking
drafted then too. Remember Grambling, Scotty Anderson. He got drafted in the 7th round by the Lions.
So here's Conference USA.
See, Kennesaw State,
Kennesaw State.
Jack State.
Fam, you played them.
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky. I believe that Jack State played them in
Missouri
the
State.
playoffs 1 year.
Huh?
Yep.
I think Jack State played them in the playoffs 1 year.
No, Valley played them.
That was Valley? Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, Jerry Rice played. We never played them.
They did play. They played Louisiana Tech. I know that for a fact.
I'm talking about we played, man. We played Montana, Western Illinois, Marshall, Tennessee State, Arkansas State,
Boise, FIU,
and Boise, who's Power 4 now. I mean, so
all these teams,
look
man.
at it,
Missouri
Delaware.
State just moved
Delaware.
up. Delaware State just moved up.
Middle Tennessee State
moved up soon a while ago. Right.
Sam Houston.
Sam Houston just moved up.
So this is what kills me. Yeah, Brett. And listen, Brett, I'm gonna tell you something. I want you to start. Y'all did beat FIU. You know they was on a 22-game losing streak. You keep throwing that out there like they was some power. They had lost 20. I'll let you say this in that little chat, but they had lost. I had to go look at that. They had lost 22 straight. So y'all caught them. So I will give you that win, but they had lost 22 straight.
Let me tell you why you can't say that, Mike. Let me tell you why you can't say that. Because you're saying that on the strength of those guys who you think can get drafted, if they'll even beat FCS at the start of the football season.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, the main issue that we're having right now is that, again, we're showing you we have the players to get drafted, but they're no longer FCS. So it's not a thing where these players are FCS and they're good and they're just being bypassed. No, a good fraction of these players are moving up to FBS and then getting drafted at that particular point. That's the actual issue that we're really, really running into, more so than our players get overlooked. The other part is they're not being overlooked. The thing is they're looking at them. They're seeing them, because if you go back to even last year, they're gobbling up HBCU players for undrafted free agents, and they're drafting the names that we all think that they should get.
Mm-hmm. They are, and that's the other thing that people they want to. I know you want to hear your school, you want to hear the name, you want to hear it being drafted. Understand? I was happy last year here, Carson Vincent, 5th round, Alabama A&M. But the thing is, man, that undrafted free agent route is still a route. It is still, and you see many guys have made rosters and thriving on rosters. Not just made rosters, thriving on rosters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's not get that twisted. So that's where I'm just like, that's why I led off with, aren't y'all tired of just every year saying the same stuff? I mean, you got to start doing some correlation. You got to start looking at what's going on, man. It shouldn't take us to sit here and tell you this. It shouldn't take us because here it is. We'll be back here next year. Guarantee you, three of us will be right back here next year doing it on the same weekend, on the same Sunday, doing the same show, saying some of the same stuff. Bet you.
And here's my thing. And this is what I had to break down. It's 2 things that's got to go on. We just look. Our peers have moved on, and they're using that. So a lot of those kids, because they want to play in the FBS, when they really should be still coming back to HBCU, because I think they will have a better opportunity. And then also, man, here's the thing, man. And I'm just going to keep it a buck. Because of this landscape, the level of player that we're getting is not at the level. The coaching is not the same. You had great coaches that were fundamentally great football coaches that were coach. There's a reason. And I'll say this, because we talked about this, though. And then you go look at the coaches and players. Willer was a damn good coach. There's a reason why those guys from the FAMU went to the NFL. Dion recruited and had coach around, and TC Taylor go, let's keep it rolling. There's a reason why those guys are getting it, because of the coaching.
Yeah.
See, the coaching matters. TJ got a kid. He's got What's the kid from Prairie View, Wayne? I know you know right off the hit that's got a camp invite.
Yeah,
The quarterback, the defensive back.
Jaden, I can't remember his last name.
But hey, coaching matters. So here's the thing, man. Listen, let me tell you something. Two things can be true. You know what I want for the SWAC and for all HBCU football? I want good football games. Let's start it. Because you know what? South Carolina State, did they have any players drafted?
Nope.
I didn't hear, and maybe I didn't see anybody yet has signed. Have they had anybody sign?
Jared Washington, their best defensive player, he signed with Kansas City.
Okay,
right now, Jace, you got 4 players.
Now hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me make this point. We just talked about Prairie View got their one guy. That was a hell of a football game. They bragged about you because people were watching football. See, if we can produce football games that people watch, that game, Alabama State, Prairie View, Jack State, Alabama State, people watch. People watch. So what I want is the games to be played well. If we can have the games to be played well, because I just said, hey, what is the Celebration Bowl was a what? We can even go back to that Dion year against Central.
Yeah.
Had a couple of guys, of course, but take the Shadur and all them guys out, right? Wasn't a bunch of guys on that went, but that was a hell of a football. That was one of the best football games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And the numbers showed it.
Yeah.
So my thing is, we need to be working on the fundamentals and produce a great product for people to watch. Because I'll tell you what happens if we start getting it back fundamentally sound, which we are not. You know what'll happen, Wayne? You start having players getting drafted.
You know something, man? Zoe, go ahead. You were gonna say something.
I was gonna say, you know what else, Steve? You know what else? What else could really, really help is, man, schedule games that are advantageous that can help the players.
Come on.
I was about to say, how about instead of having 11 games, schedule that 12th game, make it an advantageous game that can help the damn players to have more eyes on them. Because instead of having 11 games in the season, you can schedule a 12th game that could be an attractive game and say, hey, let's go play a game that's an attractive game. I'm scheduling this game for my players, my projected seniors, to have an opportunity to show some on a bigger stage.
Yes.
We can make some advantageous for those seniors that can help them out. Because I can also tell you this, man, scheduling multiple D2s in 1 year is not advantageous to help the players out. That's why I say you got to have a happy medium. Yes, we got to make money, but at the same time, man, we got to schedule games that can actually help these players. Because at the end of the day, if you're not getting good players, the money gonna shrink.
Yes, sir. And man, to those points, because you were going exactly where I was gonna go. To Mr. Camel point about our gameplay. Our games. You talk about the fundamentals. Our games, y'all hear me? Y'all both watch me. I'll say it. I talk about it a lot on my Sunday nights. I talk about how many penalties we get. But it's not just the penalties we get, it's the pre-snap penalties we get. And the pre-snap penalties that we get. I ain't talking about just opening weekend, first couple weeks. We getting a lot of pre-snap penalties like game number 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Lots of holding. Lots of sloppy holding penalties. You know what I'm saying? Just poor technique. You got beat, so you didn't move your hips. You didn't move your feet quick enough. You just grabbed the guy, right? So you got these different things that we need to improve. And then what Zoe said, I know people have beaten this horse to death and everything like that. But, I gave my opinion about scheduling and all that different kind of stuff. I didn't really want to, but I just had to because, I myself have been saying for a long time, been banging the drum, been wanting us to play better competition. Like Carson Vincent got drafted because he had good tape when he played against Auburn in the opener. Had good tape, right? If you're not putting our guys in these games to test themselves, to challenge themselves, I mean, you should be challenging your team regardless in the non-conference. Now, I know everybody likes to say, well, we're an HBCU. We'd love to just play HBCU teams. And that's all well and good. But you got to look at the fact is you got a whole conference schedule of HBCU teams. Got a whole conference schedule of HBCU teams. I said about how y'all are playing Tennessee State, Zoe. I love that. I love that y'all playing that. You know, I would love to see FAMU, Mr. Campbell. Bethune-Cookman's playing Stetson. You know, play some of these regional, FCS teams and give yourself some chances to test yourselves.
You know what, Wayne? I was gonna tell you, I was gonna tell you, I make it real easy. You got 8 conference games. We already talked about possibly going to a 9-conference game slate, and that guarantees you 3 non-conference games.
Dang.
So if you sit there and do that, you got 9 conference games. You still can play a team from the MEAC if you want to. That's 10 games.
Yep.
Every year, because it's the same footprint, right? You don't have to play a Power 4 school. But don't tell me you can't play a Sunbelt school every year or play a Conference USA school every year. You can do that. There's no crime in Jack State. We want to talk about travel. Well, guess what? It's the same exact footprint of the SWAC. Well, tell me Jack State can't play Troy State or go play Southern Miss or go play, Louisiana Tech or go play Arkansas State or go play Florida. It's the same footprint. And a Sunbelt is a reputable, damn good football conference. I would love for them to be the measuring stick, because if we can win those games, then that's the best way to test your mettle. But you're playing good competition, and that's a better way to gauge yourself. Because again, you want to play good competition to know where you stand outside the conference. Mm-hmm. And then it's a good thing to have your players have tape on film, because not only do you have a chance to win a winnable game, but it's helping your goddamn players out. Because at the end of the day, yeah, we want to win games, but man, help them out in the process. We don't want to just rely on pro day. And if you got the measurables, damn, having good film works too.
Yes.
And against a good opponent, why we refuse to do that is just mind-boggling to me. And again, we get it. No, you don't want to go play Ohio State on the road. I understand that. If you want to do that for a monetary reason, because, hey, I'm trying to get a payday to help build a facility or something, then I understand that, right?
Right.
That's logical sense, right? We get that. But don't tell me, man, look, Jack State played ULM. Should have won when we played them when Deion Sanders was here. But guess what? You win some, you lose some. But that was a competitive game. And that game could have went either way. There was no shame in losing that game. We played them year before last, first game of the season. It still was a winnable game. That game could have went either way. There's no shame in that. So why not schedule those types of games year in and year out? Because that'll give you good film. Watching Jack State play Georgia State, watching Jack State play Troy, play Old Dominion, play Southern Miss. Those are good reputable games that every team in the SWAC should be playing.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. That's the thing I've been saying about why not? I mean, you lose a game in a non-conference. Okay, you can learn, you can grow, you can get better from that. I mean, like Emmett said, that was the prime example. Prime example.
Hey, listen, and that was a game as bad as UAB was, but guess what they said? Andrew Body showed out against an FBS team.
He did.
That's all you heard. UAB was straight trash, but because of the level of competition. But though, man, listen, it's Sippin on Sundays, man. It's Zoe Felt, man. It's my first time. He gonna be back Wild Way Car. But y'all know I had to call my big dog nephew coming to the state. That's right. Zach McKenna, when Mama said, but the brothers at the cookout call him Blue. What's up, Blue?
There you go. What up, man?
What up, guys?
He is.
What up, guys?
There he is.
Doing double duty tonight. Just left HBCU night. Shout out to the boys over there, man. Shout out to my guys over there. Blue, listen. When we talk this, man, and like I say, man, this my nephew. When I text, he said, "Oh, Mr. Campbell, I got you." I wanted to, because somebody brought something up, and I know we talked about this. How many of the guys, and when you broke down this, that left our HBCUs and went on and got drafted, and if just overall, how prevalent is that? And also, to you, do you believe this is the world sinking because FCS guys are not getting drafted, specifically HBCU? Because that's what we're talking about. So, Blue, tell us what you got going on with this.
All right. Bro, we should hide the panic button. And it's funny because I knew this was going to happen, but as y'all know, me and Gerald work really close together on getting all these draft rankings going. We start in July, getting all the boards together, spreadsheets, everything. This was going to be a really bad FCS class. We knew this from July.
Right.
It just was not going to be. And a lot of it had to be is that the best prospects guys were juniors. There's a ton of FCS guys in the next class or guys that may have grad transferred somewhere that are going to another place. 3 of our top 10 prospects in the preseason, guys, were from Ivy Leagues. Well, I know some of y'all know this, but Ivy Leagues, you can't redshirt. So a lot of those players, what they do is if they don't play their freshman year, they get to their senior year, they graduate from the Ivy, because why would you not stay and get your Harvard degree? And then they play their last year somewhere else. Well, guys, we lost Jaden Craig to TCU. There was a wide receiver that like went to, I think he went to like Miami or something like that. And then there was an offensive lineman that transferred up. So that's 3 of your top 10 FCS prospects that are gone just because they had to leave, right? Well, you look at the HBCU class. I mean, really and truly, guys, I mean, I'm going to be completely real with y'all. There was one HBCU prospect with a draftable grade. Just one.
Yeah, Eric Hunter.
Right.
It was Eric Hunter. That was it.
I'm sorry.
He's the only HBCU prospect that should have been drafted yesterday. That's
Mhm.
it. Like, guys, we're not talking about some big conspiracy where we had 10 guys who were supposed to be drafted or good enough to be drafted. It was one. And you know what he did? He went and signed a $3 million UDFA deal. That's all.
Right.
Guys, if he was drafted in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, he ain't getting $3 million.
Wouldn't get. And let me say something again, as they say. When I was an agent, this was what was so important. When you got down to that, you didn't want to get drafted. Because if you were a player like Eric, you knew people wanted him and you knew the game was being played. But then you could go look, because there's 2 things. And again, I tell people this all the time when we had a kid from Georgia. Lead and gonna have a brain lock. But he could go to Pittsburgh or he go to Atlanta. He was a leading receiver in SEC. We was like, man, you got to make this team. These guys up at, hey man, this is when they got Plaxico Burrs. You're not gonna make that team.
Nope.
I don't care what they say. You're not making that team. So my thing is, 2 things happen with that. And shout out to Rashida Liberty, his agent, that got that deal done, because she took about messing with her and Gerald. Because Gerald reported, she was like, oh, I didn't know about that. She was being funny. But the thing about it is, he gets to go on the team that he can make. That's the first thing. And he's got a good contract. Because instead of getting drafted with someone to make you a camp body, which is the worst thing you ever want. I hate when somebody says, oh, I'm going to the Super Bowl champion. Bro, you ain't making that team. You ain't making that team, dog.
Nope.
And Blue, to your point earlier, like, I mean, seriously, raise your hand. Who thought before this season, if you think of any wide receiver that had a chance to sign a free agent deal, it would be Dupree from Jackson State? No one would have said that. Nobody would have said that.
Nobody.
Well, and again, this goes to the next point here. At the end of the day, guys, like, you have to test well. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't care how many yards you ran for. I don't care how many championships you won, who you beat in college. If you don't test well, like, everyone talks about, athletic testing isn't the end all be all, but guys, it kind of is, like, to a point, right? There's benchmarks in the league, right? Do y'all know a 4.9 running back that has ever played in the NFL since like the 1930s?
Right.
Probably not. You want to know why? Because defensive ends are running 4.4s now. So how many running backs that are running a 4.9 are going to be able to get to the corner and turn it upfield when you got Myles Garrett running a 4.4 at 290 pounds? It just ain't going to happen. And guys, you look back at the HBCU showcase, guys, the fastest 40 there was Eric Hunter at a 4.48. Faster than all the running backs, faster than all the corners, faster than all the linebackers, faster than all the wide receivers. Guys, we had a running back that ran a 4.9 and people were like, he should be a lock to be drafted. I'm like, you don't get drafted running 4.9s from Division II. It's impossible.
And I want to say this. So the thing that you have to have happen, whether it's at practice, because again, scouts go to the practices. I'm talking about regular school practices, but also at all the events. The thing that you have to have is the same thing that happened at the scouting combine and in the offseason leading up to the NFL draft, and that is you just need one coach, one scout, or somebody to fall in love with you. So all of it needs to happen. And that's for any player. I don't care if it's at Notre Dame or Jackson State. It does not matter. Again, they're going to look at the metrics. If you don't have the metrics, you have to have something that they fall in love with. Because I can tell you exactly, the last one was Vincent from Alabama A&M. The O-line coach fell in love with him. Go back and watch the video on his first day when he arrived at the building. He vouched for him. The O-line coach vouched for him to get drafted.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
it works, bro.
And the other
So,
thing too,
look,
you have to look
go
at
ahead,
too,
Wayne.
man.
Go ahead.
The other thing you got to look at too is you got to look at scheme and fit.
Yep.
Because you heard that a lot during the draft. You hear it every year. Yeah, they talk about the numbers, they talk about the way they tested, and they show the film, you know, how they did against this team, that team, but they talk about the scheme and the fit. And you're talking about coaches. All right. And that's the other thing I gotta say, the intangible that people won't listen to. These coaches, you got a lot of them that are sitting on thin ice and they gotta nail it in this draft. Okay. Do you think that they're gonna sit here and waste a draft pick on somebody that they don't believe can fit their system? That's a question that folks don't answer.
I just want to show you guys something, and this goes back, and we talking about measurements. Now I put up 3 guys, cause just real quick, and it's gonna be, but I want to show you the difference of linebackers that came through the SWAC, and Zogo know 2 of these right off the rip. And I'm saying there's levels to this, and this is how you get drafted in the 2nd round. Hold on, let me show you this. Now this is Jackie Walker, Jackson State legend. I want y'all to look at Jackie Walker's measurements. Jackie was 6'5", 245.
And was a dog.
And was a dog. And quiet kept at like not pro day, because I don't even think they had. He went down there and they said Jackie ran a 4.6. Do you see this? Now you tell me anybody swagging to me that's 6'5", 245.
I can name a couple guys, man. Greg Lloyd came out of Fort Valley State.
I'm gonna show you this.
So many
Darian
guys.
Connor, my guy.
Darian Connor.
Look at the size, 2nd round pick. See, I want people to say this is what tickles me when I say, man, listen, stop acting like that. Now, this is Darian Connor. Got drafted in the Falcons, played over there with Deion. Look what Darian Connor's size was. 6'3", 250. Okay? We're gonna go to somebody that didn't get drafted, but y'all know him. Played for America's team. You know I had to bring up a Rattler. You know I had to do that.
Marquise Bell.
Hold on, no. I'm one that got Super Bowl ring.
Nate
Newton.
Nate Newton. That was gonna be my next one.
Bro, tell me. I'm asking the question. So this ain't nobody hating. This is what the standard was. And I could go, like I said, bro, and this is just me right off the hip. And I could just give you guys with measurement. I'm not going to even talk about Jimmy Smith, Jake Reed, all these guys, Mel Blunt, who set the standard for what a big cornerback was, man. I mean, I could just go on and on. Jerry Rice. Look, bro, how many guys is Jerry Rice side is 6'2.5", 215 right now that's playing? So this is what I'm saying, man. Listen. When you want, this is what I'm saying, if you want to get drafted, that's the measurement. If you want to get drafted high, that's the measurement. Now, will they leave? I'm not worried about that. I'm telling you what the standard is, what Wayne is talking about. There's levels there. There's a reason why that Nigerian kid came. The dude was 6'3" and a half.
I just wish, like, people people forget that context.
Come on, with sweetness, but the 5'11", man, listen. Was a weight room warrior, bro. Listen, there's levels to this thing. So when you guys get on here and do your little shows, because you only been watching stuff since Deion came around, and we know who you are, and you have no. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and just tell them it's a conspiracy. The white folks don't want to. Hey, so the white people, they don't want to get the HBCU players.
Yeah, look, you know what? That's why I'm gonna bring up Blue's point, but. That's why, we talk about you have to have the measurables because, they say, oh, well, you got to be otherworldly at the HBCU. I'm like, no, you don't. That's why I would bring up the example. I could bring up Donald Driver. Like, man, do you know what Donald Driver did his senior year at Alcorn?
Come on,
he
man.
only caught 55 balls.
Hey, but Donald Driver was an All-American sprinter, too.
Yes, yeah, he was.
Okay,
but here's the thing. He had measurables, but he caught 55 passes. He did make 1,000 yards. And I think he might have had 10 touchdowns. I'm unsure. I go to Jimmy Smith, and Jimmy Smith wreaked havoc when he got to the NFL. He was a 2nd round pick. Jimmy Smith didn't even catch 50 balls his senior year. He didn't catch 50 balls. and he had like 8 touchdowns. Those were his stats. But he had the measurables like a son of a gun. And when they worked him out, nobody could cover him. Went to the blue-gray game and kicked ass. Just like Jerry Rice, kicked ass. So my thing is, yes, you have to have the measurables, but it still go back to, man, you got to have a team or people within an organization fall in love with you and vouch for you too.
That's it. Blue was getting ready to say something.
Blue gonna make a point.
That Nigerian dude.
Yeah. Like people just want to point to that and say, man, you have a kid who never played football before, and it's just a disgrace that he got picked.
Let's reset this up. Where exactly now was he at the combine at the Commanders, or was he down at the Legacy Bowl combine?
No, he was at the HBCU IPP showcase. They let him come, and so that's where he went. But if you remember the program, like the same program that produced like Jordan Mailata for the Eagles, right? The guard or tackle they have. He never played football before. He was a rugby player and got in this pathway program and got to the Eagles. And now he's an all-pro.
Yeah,
just a freak. Yeah. That's where this kid came from. He was in that program, the pathway program. And guys, like, I just want to put in perspective, this kid was 6'4", 300 plus pounds, and ran a 40-yard dash faster than every single running back at the HBCU combine. Like, put that in perspective. And you take a team like the Eagles who, you know what they're saying, guys? We have an all-pro offensive lineman that we've already done this with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The proof's already there. You can't teach his size, speed, athleticism. And what the Eagles are saying is, man, we can take a 7th-round pick. Man, listen, guys, HBCU, FCS alliances put aside, right? Zoe, Mr. Campbell, Wayne, if y'all are sitting in the front office and y'all got a 7th-round pick, are y'all taking the waiver from D2 who ran a 4.9 but had 3,000 career rushing yards? Or y'all taking this? We've never seen anything like this.
Right.
Who would y'all take?
I'm taking the specimen.
That's the thing.
It's a no-brainer.
It's such a no-brainer. But here's the thing, though. But you know what, though? And I kind of brought this up, Wayne. I wanted to get your thoughts on this.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of Ibu, alone, Nigerian alone. Hey, man, listen, we need y'all customers to come, man. Listen, because y'all got cats over there. Hey, man, let's go.
Screw the pathway program.
Hey, but Blue, I'm gonna tell y'all, Blue, do you know who the African kid sounds like? Seriously. Sounds like another undrafted player who just became a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates did not play football.
No, he was a basketball player at Kent State, bro.
He didn't play basketball at all. But when you see something on the field, it's like, okay, man, we got something with this guy. Got to the NFL, hadn't played no college, and was destroying people.
Mm-hmm.
Destroying people. So again, it goes back to what I said. People can see something, and because again, when they see a project, and all NFL coaches have one, they see a project, they see, man, this kid got quick twitch this. He got the height, he got speed. I can make something out of this. This is some damn good clay that I can mold into something.
Exactly. And in the 7th round, you're not putting any. Listen, if he doesn't pan out, okay, you didn't really lose nothing.
Yeah, who cares?
Exactly.
EA, that's the hill that you're gonna die on. He didn't play in college. He played in high school.
The leap between high school and NFL football.
Come on, you got to do better than this, dog.
Like you never have played football before in your life. I mean, and then also too, guys, this is really the main point of this, and this is the thing that I think is lost in conversation is it's a social media age, and I think it's changed how people watch football. And what has happened is, because Mr. Campbell and Zoe, y'all a little bit older than me, do you guys remember how many legendary college football players never became great in the pros or got a chance?
I can name a whole long list of them.
I can name a bunch of quarterbacks.
Yeah, and all 4 of us have played this game and been around this game. How many people can y'all name that y'all know personally off the top of your head that y'all played with in high school, college, anywhere that you're like, he's the best athlete I've ever seen, and he just never got a chance to pan out? Whether it was off the field stuff, grades, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like,
a lot of
a ton of them. And so we've really lost the grasp of how important and still great your career was. If you're just a great college player, guys, just because you're great at college does not mean you're a great pro.
Say it again.
That's what's been lost, because what happens is people get on these shows, they don't know how to scout, right? All they do is look at the box score, right? And I'm not trying to call this kid out, but it's like Kelby Givens is averaging like 20 sacks a year. Yeah, but he's an undersized edge rusher that is not going to that's not going to translate. You want to know why? Because Trent Williams runs like a 4.5 and is like 350 pounds, and that speed rush ain't going to work at the next level. And what happens is they look at production at college and think that translates to the NFL, and that's not always the case. That's why you see these first round picks with 8 sacks being drafted from Texas A&M. But guess what, man? That edge rusher from Texas A&M, every trait you want in an elite edge rusher, he checks that box.
Well, Blue, I'm gonna say this. You ain't gonna say it. Steve ain't gonna say it. And Wayne ain't gonna say it. But I'm gonna say it. You use the example of Kelby Givens, right? And he had those stats, right? But he had those stats against horrible offenses, all in one division. Against one team that got a winning record.
I was about to say it too.
But we want to act like he's playing elite competition. Oh, well, we did this in conference, but you only got 2 teams in conference with a winning record. Or you got one team in the conference that got a half decent O-line, and they all got horrible offenses. We don't talk about that, though.
That's it, man. And that's what we said before Blue, you came on. We talked about who you played in college matters. If you ain't played nobody and you put up all these numbers, you know what I'm saying? It's like what Zoe, like you like to say, it's empty calories.
Just like last season, I'm gonna give an example. And again, when I say this, I'm not shitting on them. I'm giving data. I'm giving an example. Just like Alabama State, they had a great year last year. Why they put up good numbers? Oh, as soon as the season ends, man, they should go to the playoffs. They won as many games. They beat one team that was 500 or better the whole entire season.
Yep. Who you play?
Even Jackson State. Jackson State only beat 2 teams that was 500 or better last year. 2.
Yep. Who'd you beat? Yeah. Who'd you play?
And again, like we talk about traits, look at who got signed from Jackson. Dupree's not a better prospect than Quincy Ivory or Jeremiah Williams. But guess who got signed and guess who got a minicamp invite? You want to know why? Because one has an elite speed trait. The other guys, they're not sure. They're good players, but nothing pops out on film with them like that speed does, right? They saw that. What was he running, like a 4.28 or whatever it was?
He's a late 4.2 guy.
Yeah.
So that's a trait. That's why he got the UDFA contract, and all these other guys with more production from Jackson got minicamp. Like, this isn't a hard recipe. And I want to go back to what Mr. Campbell asked me first. I don't think I answered it completely. Is all the P4 people and the people that really don't understand scouting and NFL draft and the FCS HBCU space really just got to mind their business in the conversation, because I've seen so many tweets that's like, well, the reason that all these guys weren't drafted is because they're all transferring up. Maybe a little bit, right? But we had more FCS guys stay last year than win, like elite level guys.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing is, you look at the draft, guys, there were 4 true FCS guys that stayed. Cole Payton, Bryce Lance, Caleb Proctor, Charles Demings played all 4 to 5 years at their FCS institutions. Do y'all know how many guys got drafted that transferred up with 1 year remaining? Got drafted from an FCS or HBCU? 3. It does not help you to transfer up with 1 year. And you know what? What really does happen, and Mr. Campbell's going to know exactly who I'm about to use for this, and I'm not disrespecting the kid. All the people that say, well, move up to prove yourself, that's not what happens a lot of the times. The more common story is the Niles Gaddies, who get buried on the depth chart at Missouri. The James Ashes, who goes from an all-conference player to not playing a single snap at Auburn as a senior. He did not even see the field, I think, for Auburn last year.
The kid from Grambling a few years ago, the defensive end with the Ole Miss.
Yep, or the linebacker, Andrew. Like, and what happens is people come back to these situations, right? And they say, well, if he would have stayed, he would have been a prospect. No, he wouldn't have. You want to know why? He got exposed when he went to the next level. The guys who move up and get lost in the shuffle were going to be guys that got UDFAs that got lost in the shuffle and never turned out. If you can't make it at an SEC program or a Big 10 or a Big 12 or a G6, guess what, guys? You were never going to make it in an NFL minicamp because the level is so much higher. You are better off staying and being developed where you are. Like all the data says that. And guys, I was looking at players who transferred with more than 1 year of eligibility. I think there were 2 or 3 drafted from the FCS that transferred up with multiple years remaining and got drafted. That's not a lot. Like these guys aren't moving up. Now you have the rare cases, right? You have the Cam Wards, you have the Jared Verses, right? You have the Shador Sanders, the Travis Hunters.
You have the kid from Alabama A&M, wide receiver.
Oh, Tank Dell.
Tank Dell.
Tank Dell. Guys, look at what we just did. We named like 5 recent examples. What's the percentage of kids that transfer up with multiple years of eligibility and get and really become superstars? It's probably less than 10%.
Oh man, you about like less than 5% based off of what you just said.
It's just it makes no sense, this narrative going around that. And then I saw one guy tweet out that was like, well, if there's an FCS kid at Southeastern Louisiana and he's there after 4 years, he must not be that good, right? Because if he was good, he would have transferred up.
I hate when people say that.
I hate you know who says that? People who literally think it's just about money. That's all they think about is money because they think everyone will sell out for the dollar. No, like that's not everybody. Does not just value money over everything. And like, I don't think some people grasp that. And so they're like, if you don't chase the bag, you're stupid. It's like, no, it's the long-term bag. Caleb Proctor said that in his interview after he got drafted. He was like, man, these guys that I played with are going to be at my wedding one day. I'm going to get the money. I was already a top prospect. If they're coming to see me at Southeastern, they're going to see me at LSU. But if I don't go to LSU, guess what? They're still going to come see me at Southeastern Louisiana. And that's what they did.
Right.
I want to say that's not true about Dalen Baldwin. He didn't just up and transfer. There's a reason why he transferred.
Yeah, there was a different thing with him.
Yeah, he didn't just up and leave. There's a whole different scenario. He was pretty much almost forced to transfer. And so, but even then, he still played a little bit at Michigan and did enough to warrant him getting the opportunity that he got in the NFL.
Yeah, and guys like he didn't get drafted. I thought he was. You know, Jamari Taylor. Remember he came from North Carolina Central, had a real good year with Virginia.
Yeah.
Like he definitely was.
He was up for like the player of the year, right?
Yeah, yeah, he was an outlier.
I also talked about. I mean, control. Wait, talk about it today. Anytime you got Harold Perkins fall into the 6th round,
7th round,
7th round, that should tell you something. Very productive player fell to the 7th round. Like, I mean,
guys, there were UDFAs that were starters for SEC schools yesterday. UDFAs, like, and people just want to come up, guys. There's not a set formula. Like, there's not a formula you could just go study and say, if I check all these boxes, they're going to draft me. It depends on the year you come out. Sometimes it depends on your agent's connections. If we really want to be legit here, and then measurables, performance at pro days, all-star games, all this stuff, production at the college level, competition, like everything people like, because it feels like the consensus of the college football, especially FCS and HBCU, are split down the middle. It's the ones that are screaming loud that this matters and then this matters. It's like all of it kind of matters at the grand scheme of thing, but you really just need everything to align perfectly for you to get drafted. Guys, there are what was it, 256 draft picks yesterday?
257, 257.
Yeah, so somewhere in there. Half of them for 2 conferences.
Bro, that's what, dude, like 97% of, like, dude, there were 13 G6 draft picks, 4 FCS, and then a kid from Nigeria.
The
rest were P4. And 87 of those came from the SEC.
Yeah.
I mean,
man.
And then what? The Big Ten had like 20.
We said it. The SEC and the Big Ten together was 155 picks.
Listen, and how many guys graduated? Like, let's just look at it from a totality. Like from P4 to NAIA, how many kids left school this year and said, man, I'm going to go for the NFL? What, 10, 20,000 plus? I mean, and you're fighting for 200 and something spots in the draft.
95% of the players playing FBS that are eligible to get drafted did not get drafted.
Did not.
95%.
And
that's the whole thing, man.
Can I ask y'all something? Like, this is a real conversation me and Gerald have had off camera, and I'm curious on other people's position on it. Is it more important to have people drafted, or is it more important for people from your university to stick in the NFL?
Stick in the NFL. That's why there's no name in the USDA.
Because what's really the benefit of, like, do we just want people from our university drafted for bragging rights online? Do we just want it to, maybe put in a pamphlet we hand out at our junior days? Like, is it better to hand a kid a pamphlet and say, man, we had 17 draft picks last year. None of them are still there, but we had 17 players drafted. Or is it better to say, man, look at Elijah Williams. He wasn't even a UDFA guy. So he got a mini camp invite, was on the 53-man roster and started some game, like was in the rotation.
Yep.
Is that more impressive? Or is it more impressive for Mississippi State to have 2 draft picks and neither of those kids make the 53-man roster next year?
And I think it's to your point there, Blue. I think a lot of it is you've got people that do want to brag. They want to brag. They want to say they want for trash talking purposes. But at the end of the day, it's like this, man. You want to have, it would be good as a standard bearing thing for your program to say that you had a guy who got drafted and he lasted in the league. Like for Alabama A&M, Robert Mathis is a name, right? A recent name.
Absolutely.
That sticks, right? Jacoby Durant, South Carolina State, Shaq Leonard, well, Darius Leonard then. Those are standard bearing names. To me, I think you have standard bearing names that stick in the league. Titus Howard, right? Who's playing for my Browns now. These are guys that you want to really be able to hang your hat on. Even these undrafted free agent guys, that's what you really should be caring about. That standard bearing things, because you can have it. It helps you in recruiting. Because a lot of let's keep it a whole buck, man. These big programs. Like I work at Ohio State. Ohio State thrives on, hey, we put you in the league. Alabama, we put you in the league. Players are going there because they know that they can put you in the league. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing where I just think where it translates for us at our level. It shouldn't be about trash talking. It should be about trying to build a standard that says, hey, we developed a strong pedigree and a strong, recent history of balance in what we do.
For
whatever happened to that.
So here's the thing, the thing is to have something to sell to the public, right? And guess what?
Yeah.
Damn, you can sell that they have 4 guys active in the NFL. Jack State can say right now we have 4 former players active in the NFL.
That's it.
But also, here's the other thing. I like to think of it as an equation. I call me crazy, but I tend to think that guess what? If you could build some consistency with having multiple players every year sign undrafted free agent deals, I think if you have that, then you know what can happen. Those can actually turn to draft picks, I think, because you create a consistency of saying, man, they got some guys down there. Mm-hmm. I think if you have a consistency with that, that'll turn to possibly getting more and more guys drafted. Because guess what? We've seen that back in the 90s. Guess what? Like Steve mentioned earlier, WC Gold had guys drafted every year. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a thing like, hey, they're getting guys, they're training guys, they're developing guys. They're worth a look to go down there to go get. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this and I'll be done. The great Bill Nunn, right? Back then, when they had the Pittsburgh Carrier, they were actually when Big Cat Lad was coming out in the 60s, and he literally told them, man, y'all don't know nothing about drafting players. Let me take y'all down here. Jack State is playing Grambling. Man, let me show you all these guys that got down here. And it started a floodgate because they were like, damn, we didn't know that this was here. It took somebody who knew the talent, knew how to identify the talent, and then now it opened the floodgates. The same thing can happen here. Have some consistency with guys getting undrafted free agent at your school. We're getting more scouts coming to HBCUs. They're coming. You got to get more guys getting undrafted free agents. Because I promise you, because if you turn around and you look up and it's like, damn, we got 10 guys from FAMU in the league.
Mm-hmm.
We got 10 guys from Jack State in the league.
Mm-hmm.
We got 10 guys from Grambling in the league. Man, they doing something down there. So that's what call me crazy. I think that's a pathway to create an environment to get more guys drafted.
That's it.
I don't think it's crazy because again, drafting, everybody has a different mission. Right? I said, well, Power 4 one day guys get drafted. But I tell you one thing, and Zoe, you know this. Wayne, Blue, you know this. And I'm just gonna talk family. First thing, family folk, you saw Xavier Smith play for the Rams, make that catch, played. See Marquise Bell just got that new contract. Isaiah James Houston's down there. Jacoby Durant just signed for the Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
That's what people hang their hat on. And that's the thing about it. When you start saying it, and like I say, shout out to my South Carolina. I just seen my boy from South Carolina State. Shout out to Blue Jay. Hey, listen, so you know what South Carolina State, you don't think when they go back and show all those guys that are playing, not, playing, that doesn't mean something. But Blue, I want to ask you and Wayne something because we had something very interesting, and I didn't have a chance to pull up. I might be able to try to find it. HBCU Coaches Corner, we had AD Golf on. And he talked about SWAC TV, but he dropped a couple of nuggets. See, this is what I'm talking about. We don't talk. We got facts. He told us two things that happened. How the scheduling happened. He said it wasn't the commissioner. It was the ADs that got together. Him being the leader said, hey, this does not look good for our conference. Let's cut it out. But the thing that he said, I want to ask you this, that SWAC TV, when it starts to turn a profit, that money's going to go directly, not to the schools, but for the schools to use revenue share to pay the players. How important do you think that'll be to basically get some of these players, and I'm talking about against the Sun Belt, that we can say, hey, you know what? I know the Sun Belt giving you 8, but you know what? You come Jack State, Southern, Grambling, FAMU, I give you 6. And you can actually play here, and we can build you up. You're going to get a degree. You're going to be part of a great program. Do you think that's going to help a little bit to start bringing, because drafting has two things. Again, you got to have the talent, which we all talked about, but also you got to have the coaching. And again, that little edge right there, I keep saying that FBS, FCS, because we brought up how basically the Sun Belt and Conference USA is basically just FCS teams back in the day, the whole conference. And that they're using that to recruit against us because they say, you know what, you need to come here because we FBS. Don't go to Jack State. You're not FBS. Bro, you was just 1AA 5 years ago. What are you talking about? And you ain't doing nothing. But so I'm asking, how important do you think that is by having that rev share where we will be able to use some of that money, again, not to overly pay, but to just pay some of these kids?
Yeah, man, huge, right? I mean, that at the end of the day, man, like any way you can close the gap a little bit is good, because we hear this like on a different scale, right? At the P4 level, there's kids going to some of these schools for discounts because of where it is. Like you heard that, right? Like when Alabama lost Nick Saban, they had to adjust, right? Because they weren't getting the Nick Saban discount anymore for some of these kids coming to play at Alabama. And I think if you can make the money make sense a little bit for some of these kids, they'll make different decisions. Because guys, I'm just looking at it like, and I'm sorry, like I will take $2,000 less to go play at Southern or Grambling than go play at Louisiana Tech or Louisiana Monroe. Like, no way. Like this, it's a no-brainer to me. And so I think if you can make the money work, it's better, because you look at, let's just keep it at the draft perspective too. Guys, did y'all look at the amount of draft picks from each G5 conference? Because they group them all together, right? And you see 13. The American had 4, and that's the conference that's probably closest to a power conference. The American's been really good. The MAC had 4, 2 of those from Toledo, who's consistently produced pretty good draft picks. Right. The Mountain West only had 3. The Sun Belt only had 2, and the CUSA only had 1. The CUSA had less than both FCS conferences that had draft picks this year. The Southland is outproducing the CUSA in draft picks. Like, that should put this in perspective. And listen, I get it. Yes, kids prefer FBS. We have seen repeatedly on the recruiting trail that opportunities for high school kids at the FBS level are kind of shrinking up if you're not an elite recruit. I'm telling you guys, FCS programs are signing better and better high school talent. I see it. I look at the data every day because we do look at who's incoming. And you look at some of these transfers, they're coming back. Like FCS is not lack talent. The idea that there's no talented players at the FCS level is only said by people who, 1, don't watch FCS football, 2, are only interested in P4 football, or 3, people who literally just don't know what they're looking at. To say that there's no talent at the FCS, like we just saw a kid get drafted from Southeastern Louisiana, guys. He was the first player taken. He was 4th round. Like, come on, like this is ridiculous. But yes, we really should be able to close the gap a little bit. And I think any way you can increase revenue for the conference, and I think that's the biggest thing with the SWAC guys is with SWAC TV, it gives them an advantage over other FCS conferences. Like no other conference outside of the NEC, who doesn't produce any money anyway, it has their own network. And for the SWAC to be able to reinvest that and not have to distribute it to the universities, but have rev share, and that's a huge advantage on the recruiting trail. Because whatever people want to say, some of these kids are only like all the kids that are really considering FCS are not asking for these $200,000 paydays like people want to keep saying. Man, they're looking for a few grand every month.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say this too, because I know the operative word here that we said all night is talent, right? But I want to remind people, this is football. It's not basketball. It's not baseball. The operative word isn't talent. The operative word is develop talent. Because that kid from Southeastern, I can assure you, he wasn't a 5-star or a
0-star. 0-star from a 1A
and got
school,
developed
1A
into the
high
player
school.
that he is.
Yeah.
Coaching matters in the game of football. Strength and conditioning matters in the sport of football. And so the thing is developed, because people say talent. They look at talent with football players like basketball players. And some of basketball players still get developed as well, but it's not an organic, God gave me this talent and I just segue this talent I got and just get to the NFL. Football doesn't work that way, guys.
It doesn't.
It's developed talent. So again, because you have a lot more molding of clay in football than you do in any other sport. Coaching matters, strength and conditioning matters. It all matters. Yes, you have guys that are uber talented that God gave them a gift, but even that talent, and Blue kind of touched that earlier, you have a lot of those guys who got God-given talent, but then can't cut the mustard physically and then can't make it in football. But you have a lot more guys, because I say it all the time, there are more 3-stars in the NFL than 4-stars and 5-stars. You have more 2-stars. You got more 2-stars who got conditioned and coached up and developed to end up turning and becoming like a 4 and 5-star. So we have to understand the operative word is develop talent.
Let me answer your question too, Mr. Campbell. So, yeah, and I agree everything Blue said. I also add this. You know, the thing that SWAC TV has that is a really good commodity as well, because I spoke with, because I had interviewed, Sonia Steele, the MEAC commissioner.
Right.
And I had asked her specifically about media rights because, they have their wagon hitched a lot to ESPN Plus. And, she stated that, ESPN Plus has been a good partner, but she said that the thing that SWAC TV does for the SWAC that they really want to get in the MEAC is the fact that international parents don't have to worry about a paywall. And
Wow.
so that's something that the SWAC has that is an added advantage, that parents of out of town or even out of the country can watch different sports for free. All right. So the thing that I love about what they're doing, just as long as they can get the advertising piece together, because you've got the sponsorships, but if you can continue to enhance that, that'll make the product that much better, and that'll make the pool of money that can be available that much better. And then I think at the end of the day, I think revenue sharing is an awesome thing. Eventually, revenue sharing is going to be the way really where it's going to go basically across college athletics anyway. I mean, yeah, you got a little bit of that settlement, but that settlement still isn't a balanced bridge because you still got people that are, sports that are being paid more than others, athletes that are being paid more than others, all those different things. But on our level, anywhere we can get a significant advantage like that it's always going to be a bonus.
Well,
it's always going to be a bonus.
Well, you know who started the whole rev share in collegiate sports? SEC. I even told you. You look at Mississippi State and Ole Miss, they were charter members of the SEC, but pretty much their budget is the payout that they get every year.
Correct.
That's why I say it's not equal. Alabama's budget isn't just a payout. They supersede. They take the budget, they take the payout plus whatever they add to it to make their athletic budget. Mississippi State doesn't. Mississippi State's budget is the payout that they get every year.
Yeah, same with like Vanderbilt, Rutgers, all these different ones. But man, we could go it's so many different levels, man. But I'll just keep it in this light though. There are so many things that we've said that are untapped. Mm-hmm. People just need to do more research. They need to stop spending so much time reading these bedtime stories all on Twitter. watching people getting involved in these endless arguments and pissing contests on Facebook, which serves no purpose. Like people like us who immerse ourselves in this stuff day after day. We watch the games, we do the intangibles, we do the study, We follow the trends. We do the analysis. We do all these different things. And a lot of the stuff that's out here doesn't cost any money. It don't cost you no money. A lot of this research that you can do, it's free. It's just time that you need to put into it. And that's just where it goes, man.
Blue, I want to ask you a question because you talked about how important because of the portal. And I wanted to ask you this. I heard BJ talking about this, and BJ and I in the chat. So BJ was talking about the Alabama State guy, the quarterback, that's state champion. He's going to Alabama State. FAMU got one of the top quarterbacks out of Atlanta, my nephew, and then got a state champion from the kid down there, down in South Georgia. And these were kids that would have been mostly looking for opportunities, potentially at FBS, but it was like, hey, there ain't no space for you. How important is that going to be when you start to see? And I think quarterback, when we're getting, back in the day, we barely got a quarterback that had a national ranking, but we're talking about state championship level quarterbacks that I just named, and you might know some more, but those are 3 guys that are state level championship quarterbacks that are at our school as freshmen. And quarterback, they're not going, well, some do, but I think where they're set up, these guys are set up to be starters. Like Lockhart for Jackson State. How important do you think that's going to help our game? Being able to get these level of quarterbacks?
Man, again, that goes back to what I said, is that people just keep saying the FCS has no talent, and it's ignoring so many factors. And I want to come back to that after I address this. It's huge because at the end of the day, man, building some sort of at the end of the day, you develop these players from freshmen, man. Who cares if they transfer at the end of the day? You still recruited them, developed them. It's still important to be able to sell to other recruits that you did that. And I'm going to build on that in a second, but it's big because we see players, and I don't know how y'all feel. You guys know back in the day, it was rare for a freshman to play. Now it's expected for freshmen to play. If you're not ready in 2 years, guys, it's a wrap at some programs. If you can't play in 2 years, man, we ain't got time for you.
Right.
Especially with the portal. We don't have time for that. So these kids are coming ready to play immediately. And I think you saw that with Jackson, right? Lockhart wasn't expected to play last year. Jacobian goes down. Lockhart goes in. Win. The kid was ready to play. Now, did he have some growing pains? Obviously, right?
What freshman does
that with a true freshman. And think about the pressure that kid was thrown under, guys. He didn't it would be different if he was at, no offense to this school, I'd be at Valley, right? No one's expecting you to win. Different. Just go out there and play. But then he was at Jackson, where if he didn't win, guys, he was going to cost Jackson a SWAC championship appearance last year. He could have kept them out and sent them home, but instead he leads them to the SWAC championship. And I get it; they had to play Jacobian early in that SWAC championship, and comes in and makes the SWAC championship competitive. And that huge. And so I agree with Mr. Campbell. And also, too, you land one, Mr. Campbell, and we all know this who cover recruiting, kids talk. If that kid has a great experience at FAMU, even if he transfers to Kennesaw State or North Carolina, what he's telling his boy back in high school? That's
how well he was treated when he was at FAMU.
I had a blast at FAMU, man. You should go to FAM. I will never change my experience there. And guess what happens? It's a lot easier for Quinn to go in that house now and recruit that kid. The next kid that comes, and you talk about that. You look at Lockhart. I think you look at the 2 quarterbacks Jackson landed out of Alabama. The one kid down here in Viger, that's from where I'm from in Mobile. The kid's a baller, man. They lost right before state, but one of the top quarterbacks in his division out of Viger. And Mr. Campbell, you probably know this. Viger's produced some guys that have come out of that high school.
Yeah.
Viger's
been good at Jack State.
Yeah. When you start saying you're not from that, but Dallas Carter, you know what I'm saying? When you start knowing these names of these various high schools, Fort Lauderdale, Dillard, you know what I'm saying? Northwestern, these names where you go and watch football, especially if you're a college football fan. Oh man, absolutely. So that's the thing about it, man, where Blue, what you're saying, and I think it's important. You say, hey man, listen, next year, we got a lot of players. And these are kids that looks like, because they not in the portal, they're going to be playing next year. They're not in the portal, so they have to play with us. That's another thing too. So it's not like, oh, they're going to be gone. No, bro. You here. You had that one shot. They saw something they liked. They're staying at their school. And I think what you're going to see with this portal, especially, I hate it for the kids, but I like it for football. That one portal, shook folks. And they saw all these people because there ain't no secondary portal, and they told you ain't gonna do that backdoor portal stuff. Now we find you. Don't think you're gonna slick up out of there. And that's for the schools and the players.
Yes, sir.
So don't think you're gonna be kicking kids off and bringing kids in. Because guess what? We're gonna hit you with the APR. And if you think you're gonna bring kids, we're gonna fight. They are dead serious about that. So now kids are gonna have to make a serious decision, and schools, I just can't just let this kid go. I gotta not develop him because I'm gonna get kicked with APR. And again, the kid's like, if I don't get signed, I gotta wait a whole nother year. And you know how they go, bro. If you don't get signed, then you ain't getting signed.
A wrap.
Nah, you done, bro.
You done. So I don't think a lot of people understand how that's going to settle the portal down just by making that one window where you got kids. And like I said, because man, I can only imagine, like you say, hey man, ain't nobody talking to you, bro. I should have stayed in school. I know a couple of kids because I got parents that have called me because they say, hey, I need Mr. Campbell. Can you call a lawyer? Because they're telling me he can't go play anywhere else. No, he can't. He can't. Now, he can get signed, but I'm just telling you, if he ain't got signed now, he ain't getting signed.
You retired. You retired is what you did.
Yeah. So now you're crying.
Football.
Now all of a sudden you're mad because you lost that scholarship. And then what people don't say, if you're on scholarship, you're on scholarship now. It ain't the old days.
Yep.
So now you've gone because some dude that got a Twitter account talking about, I'm an NIL agent, ain't never did a contract ever in his life. Now you talking to somebody that does contracts daily, done NFL contract, know what they look like, know what sponsorship contract, and I'm like, you letting this guy take 20% of nothing? Y'all crazy. So
bro, there was a top
Blue.
SWAC wide receiver who almost got retired from college football about 2 years ago because he never met his agent and he promised him a deal and that school signed someone else to that slot. Just saying. I mean, like this happens. Like these guys, like there's agents out here, Mr. Campbell, you know this, where they've never met these agents, bro. Like they're just Twitter agents. Like they just communicate in the DMs. Crazy. Bro, they never met them. Bro, you're giving this dude 20% and you ain't ever looked him in the eyes. And then, like, also, too, the point I wanted to build on with the last question, man, is I get all the people in the chat that said, man, like, there's no elite athletes in FCS and there's no great players, whatever. But you know what that's ignoring? Like, yes, at the end of the day, the portal has affected when some of these guys can transfer up, and that's fine. Like, I'm all for guys going to get their opportunity. I've said that repeatedly. As long as you make a smart decision, man, don't end your career because you think you're better than you are. But regardless of that, why can't these programs sell that they've developed these players? Like at the end of the day, why can't FAM say, like, I'm using this kid as an example because he can't transfer again. Isaiah Knowles, right? Mr. Campbell, what if he had 2 years of eligibility, balls out at FAM, he goes to, let's just say, Florida State, ACC Player of the Year, drafted, just complete hypothetical. Why can't Quinn go on the recruiting trail and say, bro, that's who I developed?
Oh, he's going to say
FSU only had him. Yeah, FSU only had him for 1 year. Where was he developed? Albany State and FAMU. Like, that's where he was developed. And so, yes, maybe it doesn't count as a draft pick, like in the overall count, right? It'll count as an ACC draft pick to the national media. But that's not the point. The point is you still have proof of concept at these universities. Like, Jackson can still claim some of these players that transfer up. Alabama A&M, all these FCS programs. Did you see that Incarnate Word thing with Cam Ward? Man, they were putting out everything. Like, this kid played here for like 3 years. We developed Cam Ward.
I told you.
And they should, right? Now, should that count as a draft? Yeah, they should. But is that going to count as an Incarnate Word draft pick? No, obviously not. But that's still something they can put in their pamphlet for junior day, right? Like, come here. This is where Cam Ward was developed. And I think that's what the people who just want to prove a point, right? They're the clickbait people. They're the people who just want to rage bait everyone and say, FCS ain't got no talent. We do. The difference is some of our talent is playing at these P4 programs. So if we didn't have any talent at this level, the P4 would stop knocking on our door and let us keep our players here.
Exactly.
And here's the thing, because this thing that goes over everybody's head, I talk about it every day, right? At work and otherwise. We talk about all these great things in regards to talent, but nobody ever talks about my guy at Ole Miss, the quarterback, because literally he even come from FCS program. He went straight from Division II, Division Championship to now Ole Miss. I mean, willing to break laws and everything to get another year of eligibility, right?
$6 million paid.
I'm saying, so he's like a unicorn, right? D2 to the SEC. I mean, that's about without any type of hitch, no problem. I go to practice and I'm starting like it ain't nobody business. I just did the same thing at Pittsburgh State and come right to the SEC and do the same thing.
It's unbelievable, man. So listen, man, I just, again, I wanted to do this show because, man, listen, and again, I have no problem, man. Everybody can do what they want. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has different. But on Sippin on Sundays, we sipping on facts over here, bro. And we bring the heavy hitters on, like my man Blue, like my man Wild Wayne and stuff like that. Zoe Phillips, North Jackson, go and put that dollar analysis. So, man, listen, we're going to go, rapid fire real quick before we close this thing out. Blue, let me ask you a question. Going into next year, what do you see the conference, like I say, overall, with FCS overall? North Dakota State's moved up. Is anybody else sneak? I know I've said I'm giving Tarleton. They're going to be the next one jumping and stuff like that. Where do you see the conferences moving, and where do you see the play because these kids stand? Do you think it's going to be elevated because of that? What do you see next year?
And I think FCS football's fine. Because Mr. Campbell and Zoe, and even Wayne, obviously watching strictly HBCU, but look at the F's. People had the same narrative when Marshall left in the late 90s, the same narrative when Georgia Southern and App State jumped up. People were worried when James Madison jumped up, right? Everything's going to be fine. Someone emerges and replaces the team that left, because an open spot comes about. You know what happens? These new programs start winning. What does winning bring, guys? Money, eyes, exposure, fan interest, better recruiting, and it builds on itself. If you guys remember when NDSU jumped up, they had that 3-win season a year before they went on a run and started winning national titles. There's growing pains to this, guys, and it's okay. And I think some of the that West Florida edition is amazing. I think that program is going to invest and be really good very quickly.
I'm gonna tell you something. If you listen, again, I'm in Florida. All you got to do is, if you want to see that trajectory, go look at Florida Gulf Coast and go look at Central Florida. People don't remember Central Florida was a community school, not in the biggest school.
Until Dante Culpepper got there.
I'm telling you right now, West Florida, and like I said,
I remember that, dog. I remember that.
West Florida within less than 10 years will be FBS. I'm telling you this right now.
Yeah, that's cool. As long as they start winning while they're at the FCS level, I'm cool with it. I'm amazed because you mentioned Tarleton's going to be just fine. They're going to be really, really good again this year. But really and truly, you look at what Montana, look at the trajectory Montana State took, man. Everyone just throws them in this conversation because they're a flagship school. Montana State wasn't winning shit till 4 or 5 years ago, guys.
Yep.
This is a brand new thing. Brent Vegan is a hell of a head coach. And you look at some of these other programs, look at Tennessee Tech all of a sudden, guys.
It's going to be South Dakota State.
Yeah, South Dakota State. Man, some of these programs don't have the history of winning that y'all think they do. Y'all just because y'all started watching FCS does not mean they've been winning forever.
These teams ain't been good all the time.
There's plenty of teams. I'll even look Tennessee Tech's the best example, but you just look across Abilene Christian's investing, coming out of nowhere and being really good year after year. Southeastern Louisiana is consistently winning 8, 9, 10 games a year. We have plenty of programs that are going to step up and fill that void. And I've heard rumors that there might be a few other additions after this mandate in 2027 expires and some more D2 programs can jump up. So we'll see. UT RGV is another. Man, guys, they expanded their stadium after 1 year because they didn't have enough seats for people.
Bruh, listen, them Hispanics about to be deep down there, dude. About to be deep.
Insane. I mean, because guys, y'all know how hard it is to get a real crowd in today's college football. And I understand people look at FCS attendance and laugh. And obviously Jackson's running the race, but you look behind Jackson, man, everyone's really kind of bunched together from 2 to 15. It's hard to get people to come to football games. And even at the P4 level, attendance is declining. For a new program like that to get the investment of that community is so hard. So FCS football's fine, guys. We have a lot of really good prospects in the 27 class. Me and Gerald have already started looking. More guys stay than people think. And now it's just, here's the thing though, all these guys got to go out produce next year. They got to go to these combines and all-star games, ball out, and the whole process starts over. Everything will be fine. And at the end of the day, guys, we've talked about this repeatedly today. What matters is sticking. We want these guys to go make money at the next level. I don't want you to get drafted and cut I want you to be a UDFA or minicamp invite and stay over being a draft pick and get cut. And another thing too, and I'm glad you brought up the high school recruiting, Mr. Gamble. This is the last thing I want to say, and well, y'all can wrap it, whatever. But I've heard so many head coaches say they don't want to recruit high school guys because they're scared they won't stay. At the end of the day, man, we see more and more high school kids staying at their programs. All 4 FCS guys that were drafted this past weekend stayed and were recruited as high schoolers. Yes, you're going to have the guys that, depart and transfer. But, man, why not take a chance on a local kid who everyone overlooked? You develop him, and there's a real good chance he stays, man. It's worth taking that risk, man. For people just abandon and say FCS programs shouldn't recruit high school is not seeing the long-term game. We're getting access to better and better talent because all the FBS programs are living out of the portal. We should be investing in high school talent. And then if they have a great experience, not everyone thinks, listen, I get it. Like in the perfect example is me and Rocky. Rocky is all about, man, go chase that bag. That's all that matters. Like to me, there's other people who don't think like that. And that's fine. That's 2 different spectrums. You're going to have the kids to go chase the bag, but you're also going to have the kids like Caleb Proctor and Charles Demings who want the culture. They want the experience. They're loyal to the head coach. They want to do it with their guys that they came in the recruiting class with. You're going to have that split, recruit from high school, man, and develop and take that risk and sell them on your university. That's the last thing I got to say on that.
Well, I'm going to say this one real quick, and this is what blows my mind. You got to have high school players because you can't get you don't go from the portal as a junior. Sometimes you said to start somewhere as a freshman. So that blows my mind when people say this. Some kind of way that kid started as a freshman. So why not, to your point, get the talented kid, bring him in your program, make him be a super sophomore, and then he'd be like the kid from Jack State. Hey, if you go to but look what Jack State got out the kid, the running back. Look at what they got out of him.
But see, that's the responsibility of the coaching, man. The coaches have to be able to.
The start of this year, I mean, homegrown kid, high school kid from Brandon, Mississippi, going to his 3rd season.
Wayne, what you got? Let me tell you what you see going forward. And then first of all, man, listen, Wayne, Blue, hold on. Blue, tell the people where they can see you at before we get off.
Oh, yeah, man. The Blue Bloods on all podcast streaming platforms, YouTube, all that good stuff, man. Then FCS Football Central, si.com/college, /FCS.
Hey, Blue, you on Facebook too?
Yeah, we got a Facebook page for FCS Football Central.
Hey, man, how many followers you got on Facebook?
Hold Blue, don't answer that just yet. Hold on. That's an inside joke. You missed the early part of the joke. Just hold on to that.
Blue, do you have more than 600 followers on Facebook, Blue?
1,000?
I said, do you have more than 600 on Facebook?
Yeah.
You got more than a Prairie View page. God damn.
I was trying not to drag Blue. I was trying not to drag you into that.
Damn.
We got 12. No, we got to promote it, man. Like, listen, man, we got 12,000 on Facebook.
12,000 on Facebook?
Yeah.
Damn, man, you got 11,400 more than goddamn Prairie View.
Hey, so Blue is an anchor. He's an anchor. That's anchor numbers right there, bro. That is anchor. Hey, man, Blue, you're anchor. You can find out what we're talking about on that. Wild Wade Cartwright. Hey, man, first of all, man, listen, man, me, you talked offline, man. Listen, bro. This is what I'm talking about, man. Talent, brother. You got to come on. We want to blow everybody up. Wayne, tell us what your last thoughts are, man, based off this conversation, where you see things going, and also tell the people where you at.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited about this season, man. I'm really excited about the upcoming, circuit. Obviously, the media days, that's coming. I'm also excited, man, about just seeing just the evolution of how a lot of the programs in the FCS have been adjusting to the environments. The panic button, there ain't no panic button, man. FCS is great. I mean, those playoffs last year, man, that was some spectacular football. I mean, just seeing like how teams like Illinois State can make a big run the way they did, that just shows you that FCS football is very healthy and it's very deep, man. So I'm just looking forward to it. And also, man, where you can find me, man, you can see me right there in the back of me, man. Ride Wild Wayne Cartwright, man. Just go to my page, man. Y'all know, man. Y'all know what it is. During the regular season, we'll be going up Wednesdays and Sundays, man.
So Wayne, this is what's gonna happen. So Wayne, what time do you usually come on Sundays? What time do you usually come on?
7 Eastern on Sundays, man.
Well, see, that's perfect. So, see, this is how we're gonna do it. See, I'm gonna do it. See, you go ahead, you check Wayne out. Then Blue's gonna be over there with HBCU nightly, and then we're gonna close down with all that. And then you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna call my boys, and they're gonna come over here and hang out with their big aunt. So you know how it is, man. So we got your Sunday locked down. You see what I'm saying? We don't hate on nobody and everything, but y'all know how we doing on Sippin' on Sunday. Now, Zoe, because I got one thing I got to do before you go. I'm gonna give you your last word about being the anchor of the conference.
I mean, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. I mean, it is what it is, man. Death taxes. I mean, numbers don't lie, dog. I mean, look, Blue, you weren't here. I literally said since 2020, right? This decade, I said Jackson State is the anchor of the conference. I had somebody from Prairie View say that I'm a brass monkey, and that Prairie View is the darling of the SWAC, and that they move the needle and we don't. And it doesn't matter about what we've won. And they went to the conference championship 3 out of 5 years, but they only won 1 championship. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait a minute, my math ain't the best, but 3 out of 5 with 1 win, that's 30%. Jack State been 4 out of 5. And we 3 out of 4. I'm like, we 60-some%. And I'm like, that's double what you got. I'm like, let me guess. We got the most wins since 2020. We're 55-15. They're at 500 for the decade. Did you know Prairie View has more losses than wins in their entire history? Then he said Prairie View is Jackson State daddy, but they've only beaten us 19 times, and that includes the game. That's including the game in the championship game. Right? Then on top of that, I'm like, wait a minute. So if Prairie View Jack State dad, I'm like, well, let me go down the list of everybody because I want to see if you adopted some more children. And I went and looked, and guess what? They losing to Southern, Grambling, Texas Southern, Valley. They only got the series lead against 3 teams in the conference. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, so at what point are you the anchor? What are you anchoring? How are you the flag bearer of the SWAC just because you won a championship just this season?
Oh man!
You know so I mean, I'm just saying. I like to pull up. I live with facts, and we're 55-15 since 2020. We've won 3 conference championships, a national championship. They ain't got one. And I mean, when you think about online engagement, Jack State, biggest fan base, Jack State. Oh man, I went down to social media presence, right, Blue? And when you go to social media presence, Blue, I mean, they got 600 fans following them on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? 600. Jack State got 24,000. Go to IG, Jack State got 200,000. They got like 19,000. I'm like, so help me understand where you in it. You ain't got the fans. You know what I'm saying? PV12, you got that from Scotty. You didn't even have a moniker before last season. Then you want to talk about the stadium. I'm like, okay, yeah, the vet is old, but we packed this out. Look at this picture. If I take half of this picture off right here, let me take this whole half and shade it out. Do you understand this whole half right here is still more than what they say they can hold? And that's what Jack State did? Like, literally. Like, what are we talking about? You got a 15,000 stadium, and you don't even average half of it. Y'all can stop me when I start lying. Because I ain't told a lie yet.
Man.
Roughing the SWAC has come to YouTube.
We usually don't do that on this show, but we just had to do it because like I say, now Blue, we all like, Blue, you're Switzerland, you know what I'm saying? People love you and stuff like that. You go on there, but Lionel, and like I say, Lionel, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I've been supporting Lionel, but said Bass, bro, he got a little bit beside himself. He giving us Brass Monkey Awards and stuff like that, and I'm a 2-time winner. You know what I'm saying? So so you getting another one next week? You know that, right? You get another one next week.
It's all good. Hey, beat me up, Scotty. Put a berry pack in me because I'm ready.
Hey,
I'm like Kevin Hart. Hey, I got you. I can do this all day long. I can do it all day long.
Hey, man. With that being said, man, listen, y'all know I got another show that we bring up. It's the HBCU Coaches Corner. Guess what? This Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Alabama State's new coach, Chris Wright, will be with us. Me, Coach Cole, Rocket will be in there asking them questions, man. We're gonna talk to Chris Wright to see if he can bring that winning tradition to Alabama State, man. Coach, I got some. Hey, listen, you had an interview, and I gotta ask you some deep questions because, man, you said some things, man. And, as a Rattler, I gotta ask these questions, man. Listen, we're gonna be back Tuesday night, HBCU Coaches Corner, which is gonna be on the Rocky Miller channel, Off Script channel, man. Make sure you check in. Alabama State, man. We might bring Herb on, Herb, but don't be fanboying. You know what I'm saying? We might bring Herb on and have him on and stuff like that. But man, listen, man. I gotta watch my boy Herb because Herb will take over the show. But hey, Blue, I don't know if you noticed or not. People Blue when Herb comes on, we actually let him talk over here. He actually gives more than 5 minutes. I don't know where else he be at, but they just be telling me when he come over here, he get more than 5 minutes when he come over here sipping on Sundays or the HBCU Coaching Court. I don't know.
We try to keep him away from the B word, man. Like once we get to the B word, it's a wrap.
Hey, listen, bro, listen. My boy, listen. Now Herb, I love him, but Herb, we can't let you have a dissertation when we have your coach on. Okay, quick questions. We need listen. I know you're gonna be happy, Herb. I'm gonna call you and gonna have you on. But hey, man, because Coach Wright can't be on all night, man. Listen, all night. Well, listen, man. I'm gonna say this, man. First of all, I appreciate everybody watching, man. Please hit the like button on your way out, man. For Zoe, Mr. Campbell, Blue Blood Zach McKinnell, Wild Wayne Cartwright, and for the PV12, we will be checking y'all out because I know y'all in your little chat, all 12 of y'all in your little chat.
Now give them their credit. It's 14 now.
14. I know you in your little chat, but we just wanted to let y'all know there's a difference between being a buoy and an anchor. That's why we sipping on Sundays. Y'all have a good night.
Peace, y'all.